What happens when the weakest kid in the clan suddenly downloads the memory of a sword god? Sounds like a glitch in the Matrix, right? Meet Tang Yeonmyeong, a bullied, powerless boy born into a legendary martial family, whose life flipped harder than a wok in a noodle shop. After inheriting the power of a past life sword deity, our boy doesn't just glow up, he levels up straight into clan leader status. But can he rebuild the fallen Tang sect of Sichuan, and keep his mama safe from all the chaos? Let's find out. On a small patch of land, a burly man sat cross-legged, his back against a sword with a red cord on the hilt. He murmured as if reminiscing, "Before Master passed away, he left me this sword and his final words, master swordsmanship to its ultimate level." Around the sword god was a silent landscape of giant rocks carved with countless deep sword marks, fruits of 100 years of slashing. Though I have reached the final state of swordsmanship, sword heart. But now, standing at the edge of the end, the sword god coughed, blood oozing from his mouth. He looked at his powerless hands and thought, it's all useless. I truly regret it. The sword god dropped his head, arms falling beside his legs, thinking bluntly, if only I could live without going mad for the sword, living a simple life would have been so nice. A boy lying on the ground, face bruised, muttered weakly. Tang Jiangle frowned and asked, still got strength to talk, huh? Then he kicked Tang Yeonmyeong, who was still sprawled on the ground like a pancake. He didn't hold back, cursing and stomping on the son of the woman who ruined the family. Not getting kicked out was already a blessing in his book. Yeonmyeong couldn't resist this cruel beating. Flashback to earlier times among the towering mountains. From afar one could see smoke rising from cities known for their mastery of poison and hidden weapons, Sichuan Tang clan. But it had been weakened by one of the newly risen powerhouses in the martial world. You disrupted the martial order of the 9 sects, said Demon Lord Yeon Young-hyuk, furious after being rejected. If he fancied a girl, he'd propose marriage. If they ignored or refused, he'd just take them by force, zero chill. And so Yeon Young-hyuk arrived at the Sichuan Tang clan. He had his eyes on Tang Jihai of the Phoenix's Sun branch. A battle broke out with the demon-crazed Heavenly Lord, who came to take Tang Jihai by force. Though the Sichuan Tang clan went all in and won, the cost was losing all of the clan's resources. The Tang clan of Sichuan began its path to ruin. Back to the present, on the palace rooftop, birds screeched nonstop. Eventually they flew away with dramatic flair. A fist landed square on the young face of Tang Yeonmyeong. Tang Jiangle raised his hand, taunting, fainted already? There's still a long way to go. Behind him, a few more disciples were watching the show. Yeonmyeong clenched his teeth and glared back at them. Jiangle walked over and stomped on him. What's with that angry look? Blame your mother if you're upset. Bored now, the three of them walked away, leaving Yeonmyeong exhausted, thinking, yep, just another day in paradise. Yeonmyeong dragged himself home, knowing it was his existence that drew the attention of Yeon Young-hyuk and destroyed the clan. The hate for his mother had now spilled onto him. He pushed the door open, immediately greeted by a woman. Son, why are you home so late? But the moment she saw him, Tang Jihai, his mother from Phoenix's Sun branch, was horrified. She rushed up asking, what happened to your face? Are you okay? Yeonmyeong let out a dry laugh, haha, it's nothing, mom. But as soon as he finished, he threw up a big puddle, making Tang Jihai turn pale. Her eyes filled with tears. Don't lie to me, you were bullied, weren't you? Yeonmyeong stammered, and no, really, I just fell while playing. Tang Jihai gently touched his scratched skin. What if your pretty face gets scarred? He reassured. I'll be more careful next time, promise. So don't worry, mom. Yeonmyeong removed her hand, then walked off slowly like a little zombie, leaving Tang Jihai standing there all confused. She called him to eat, but Yeonmyeong replied, sorry, I'm not hungry. Gonna go nap it off. In the dark room, the boy curled up on his bed. Thoughts of self-pity filled his mind. I know it's not mother's fault, but I have no one to complain to. Even if I screamed at the top of my lungs, all I'd get back is more revenge. He remembered his father died for the same reason. Even if we left the Tang clan, who would protect me and mother? Yeonmyeong's chest tightened with resentment, tears quietly sliding from the corners of his eyes. If only father were still alive, maybe things would be different. The sky was clear that morning, but Yeonmyeong's life was anything but peaceful. He got bullied again. Tang Jiangle saw him groaning and sneered, playing possum now, huh? He grabbed Yeonmyeong's hair and yanked him up. Quit pretending, this is just the warm-up. With that, he slapped Yeonmyeong across the face hard. Tang Munchin and the others gleefully joined in, making Yeonmyeong wonder how much longer he'd have to live like this. Suddenly, a voice called out to stop them. You guys are going too far, knock it off. I brought so much stuff to play with Yeonmyeong, but if we start like this, it's no fun. She pulled out a box full of shiny needles. Tang Yeonmyeong skipped over excitedly with her toys. Tang Jiangle sighed, oh great, not this again, what now? Yeonmyeong pulled out a needle. We're about to enter the contest for young clan leader, right? They'll test us with poison. That line made everyone freeze for a second. Tang Munchin got the hint and plopped his bulky body on top of Yeonmyeong, making him cough and wheeze. If the golden thorn goes wrong, you'll be crippled, he said casually, so be grateful I'm holding you still. Tang Yeonmyeong approached with the needle. Relax, Yeonmyeong, no one said we're killing you, I'm just testing poison and then I'll give you the antidote. Yeonmyeong bit his lip in agony, but she didn't stop, so, don't you dare die, got it. The sharp needle jabbed into his neck. The poison quickly spread through his veins, turning them pitch black. Yeonmyeong cried in pain while Yeonmyeong clapped in delight. Oh wow, it reacts instantly on the skin. Hang in there, Yeonmyeong, you've got this. How long do I have to endure this? The question echoed inside as the rain poured. Tang Yeonmyeong collapsed face up on the ground. His eyes bloodshot, his face blank, devoid of emotion. He thought to himself, if I close my eyes like this, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Then the image of Tang Jihai flashed through his mind. What about mother, who will protect her? Yeonmyeong clenched his jaw in self-blame. If only I weren't so weak. If only I could fight back against those monsters. He clenched his fists and cried quietly. I don't want much. I just want to be strong enough to protect mom and myself. Under the pouring rain, Tang Yeonmyeong screamed out in anger. I just want to live a normal life. And just then, a glowing sword descended from the sky, stabbing into the ground near him. Yeonmyeong looked up dumbfounded. A sword, when did that get there? He sat up holding his arm, but his eyes stayed locked on the blade. Weird, it's my first time seeing this sword, yet it doesn't feel unfamiliar at all. The boy's hand reached out to grab the sword hilt. A surge of power exploded inside him, pulling Yeonmyeong's thoughts along like the sword had always belonged to him. In his eyes, memory started to surface. The sword god stood firm, gripping his weapon. Over 100 years of sword practice. I have arrived, he muttered, eyes blazing. He instantly unleashed a sword technique, slashing out graceful curves in the air. Then with another swing, he formed unpredictable strikes that danced like wild poetry. Finally, he ended it with one explosive move full of power and presence. Reaching the peak of swordsmanship, one single strike was enough to cause a quake that could rattle the heavens and the earth. The sword god looked up, watching the aftermath. To reach this point, I've sacrificed so much, he said with a heavy sigh. Before him now, a towering mountain had been split clean in two. From his lips, a red glowing liquid began to drip. He told himself, so this is the final step, yet it's still so vague. Even mastering the peak of swordplay can't stop death from knocking on your door. That's why I regret it. If I could live a second life, I'd want a normal life. The memories poured into Tang Yeonmyeong, merging with him completely. Yeonmyeong realized he too had longed for an ordinary life. I remember everything now. I am both the sword god of my past life and Yeonmyeong of this one. The sword's power fused with the figure of the sword god. He raised the blade with full focus, and slashed it through the endless space ahead. Then the sword god extended his arm toward the light he'd created. His body slowly transformed into that of Tang Yeonmyeong. From now on, live as a real human being, he said, as Yeonmyeong stepped out from the darkness. Morning dew clung to the lush green leaves. Beneath the edge of the roof, Tang Jihai rushed out, yelling, you got hurt so badly yesterday. Where do you think you're going today? But Yeonmyeong calmly stopped her. Don't worry, mother. What you're afraid of won't happen. Tang Jihai watched him silently, unable to speak a word. Yeonmyeong smiled and said, I'll go and be back. As soon as he finished, he slowly walked away. Outside, under the shade of an ancient tree, Tang Jeongal leaned against the trunk with arms crossed. That punk Yeonmyeong didn't chicken out today, did he? Tang Munchin nodded. Let's see, we may have hit a bit too hard, but if he doesn't want his mom to get awkward, he'll show up, right? Anyway, the kid's got guts, Munchin added. Tang Jeongal smirked. Guts, huh? Doesn't matter, if he shows up, we beat him up. If he doesn't, we gather the boys and roast him behind his back. The two snickered like cartoon villains. Suddenly Tang Munchin turned and said, oh hey, he's here. From a distance they saw Yeonmyeong walking toward them. And from the treetop a voice called out, about time you showed up, huh? I was worried you wouldn't show up, said the person above as they leapt down gracefully. Tang Yeongryong waved happily. Hey, Yeonmyeong, over here. Meanwhile, Tang Jeongal and Tang Munchin whispered like two gossiping squirrels. Tang Yeonmyeong walked up without saying a word. Across from him, Tang Jeongal did the same, silent but not subtle. He spoke up, mocking Tang Yeongryong's tone. You've suffered a lot, haven't you? But why do you still look so intact? He frowned in suspicion. Yeonmyeong replied coldly, that little effort of yours wasn't nearly enough, Tang Jeongal. The three of them blinked in surprise at those words. Tang Jeongal pointed at his own head, mocking, ha, yesterday you were whining like a baby, now you act all tough. He growled, fine, if that's all, let me help you suffer some more, Munchin. Without hesitation, Tang Munchin cracked his knuckles and walked forward, grinning ear to ear. Suddenly Yeonmyeong spoke. Tang Munchin. Tang Yeongryong. Hearing that, Yeongryong clapped her hands. She covered her face and giggled. Oh my, Yeonmyeong is calling our names now. Someone's in the mood to die today. Yep, she concluded brightly, definitely has a death wish. She asked, wasn't yesterday's poison enough? Shall I double the dose today? Tang Jeongal sighed, why ask me? Tang Munchin raised his fist. Hey, why are you ignoring the person right in front of you? But before the punch could land, his face got grabbed, and then twisted real fast. Yeonmyeong didn't hesitate. He slammed Tang Munchin's head into the ground with terrifying force. It happened so fast that Tang Jeongal and Tang Yeongryong could only gape. Wait, what? He one-shotted Munchin. Yeongryong covered her face in shock. Didn't he not know martial arts? What is going on? Jeongal panicked. I have no clue either. Yeongryong still hadn't shut her mouth when Yeonmyeong said, if you three know, why wouldn't I? He growled, didn't you say we're competing for young clan leader? With that pathetic strength and you want to compete? Yeonmyeong took slow, deliberate steps toward them. Tang Jeongal clenched his teeth, thinking, what the hell, did this brat become a different person overnight? Stay calm, Jeongal, he told himself. Munchin got wrecked because he was sloppy. I've trained for years for this contest. There's no way I lose to someone like him. With that thought, he charged forward with a short blade, yelling, let's see if you can still talk big after I beat you down. But right then his blade got blocked. Yeonmyeong effortlessly broke Jeongal's attack. Looking at his stunned opponent, he said, this is the level of contestants. Tang Jeongal got sent flying back instantly. His entire body twisted midair like a poorly made pretzel. Yeonmyeong declared no need to hold the young clan leader contest anymore. Outcome's pretty clear. The Dark Poison Hall was not only the clan head's residence, it was where all major clan decisions were made. But since the clan leader's seat had been vacant for too long, the hall had become the elders' meeting room. One voice spoke, everyone's gathered, let's begin. It seemed the candidates for the young clan leader selection had already been preliminarily chosen. Let's make a final decision on whether the son of Phoenix's son, Tang Yeonmyeong, will participate. He hasn't officially said yes or no yet. At that moment outside, Yeonmyeong was dragging the unconscious Tang Yeongryong behind him. The scene left the onlookers shocked, but inside the dark poison hall, a calm voice continued, "We all know he's been openly bullied by the others and has shown no achievements. I suggest we remove him from the competition. Any objections?" One elder questioned, but isn't Tang Yeonmyeong the blood of the former clan leader? Another added, if we exclude that boy, won't the legitimacy of the competition be questioned later? Tang Jiren replied, I get what you're saying, but letting some kid with zero martial arts skills join will drag down the standard. Isn't that a bigger problem? Resting his chin on his hand, he continued, even if he's the former leader's bloodline, right now he's just a burden on the clan. Just then someone pushed the door open. All eyes turned with surprise. Yeonmyeong stood there with a stone-cold face. Tang Jiakui exclaimed, Tang Yeonmyeong. Tang Jiren frowned, Tang Yeonmyeong, do you even know what you're doing? Yeonmyeong replied, of course I know, that's why I'm here. A pair of confused words echoed through the meeting hall. What? Yeonmyeong now revealed what he'd been dragging in. He held up Tang Yeongryong's head to show a poisoned face and glowing red eye. The sight left Tang Jiren totally stunned. Facing them, Yeonmyeong calmly said, I've endured years of abuse here at the Tang clan, but I'm not putting up with it anymore. A few elders clutched their heads and shouted, you did that to a young clan leader candidate. Others scolded, you do realize attacking other candidates is a major crime, don't you? Yeonmyeong answered coolly, I know the family rules, but inter-candidate rivalry isn't exactly illegal, is it? Tang Jiakui widened his eyes, trying to process what he just heard. Tang Jiren snapped, Tang Yeonmyeong, did you just say you're actually entering the competition? Yeonmyeong said dryly, you're missing a part. Tang Jiren frowned harder, missing what? Yeonmyeong replied, you should also check the training ground outside. I came here after fulfilling the clan rule. Double the food taken, tenfold the revenge. As for Tang Jiangul and Tang Munshin who bullied me daily. After those words, the room went completely silent. Tang Jiren's bony hand clenched tight. Fine, since you've proven your worth, you'll be allowed to compete. A protest rang out, Elder, this can't be. Isn't this overlooking a major crime and giving special privilege? Exactly, skipping formalities like that will only hurt the legitimacy of the competition. Tang Jiren waved a hand to silence them. No, let him enter the competition. The room exploded, Elder. But the elder stuck to his choice, that kind of confidence. It's why he came here like this. A legitimate heir proving himself, why stop him? Tang Yeonmyeong, I hope your strength matches that big ego of yours. If you fail to become the young clan leader, you'll pay for what you did today, growled Tang Jiren while Yeonmyeong stood motionless, unfazed by the invisible pressure. That evening in their humble home, Tang Jihai was baffled at how things turned out this way. She clutched her hands tightly over her chest. You're seriously joining the young clan leader competition? The competition, Yeonmyeong answered firmly, it's necessary, mother. Tang Jihai was startled. His voice wasn't just teenage rebellion or impulse, it was conviction. She looked at her son's resolute face. Yeonmyeong, the name meant live on no matter what. I always thought he was just a child, but when did he become a man with such spirit? Tang Jihai dropped to her knees, grabbed his hand and said, I won't ask what method you've cultivated or how you overwhelmed not just one but all three of them. Just answer me this. Her voice became stern. Do you truly believe you can win the young clan leader contest? Yeonmyeong smiled, placing both hands together. Who's your son again? I'm the son of the Phoenix's son. Tears welled up in Tang Jihai's eyes. My son, you've really grown up. She hugged him tightly. He embraced her back, thinking, so this is what a mother's embrace feels like. I want to protect this simple life too. He thought of the scheming elders, anyone who tried to take this life away. He would erase them. His eyes gleamed with unwavering resolve. A month later, someone asked, you're just going to let him go like this? Tang Jihai walked beside a man trying to talk her out of it. The young clan leader competition isn't child's play, you know that, it's just a waste of time. Tang Jihai chuckled, let it be, the boy has his own thoughts, you've seen for yourself, haven't you? He's not the type to act without a plan. The man sighed, true that. He recalled the scene back at the dark poison hall, his wit, his calmness. Tang Jiakui, captain of the Shadow Guard, scratched his face. Still can't believe a kid that age could do all that. He hesitated, but yeah, beyond that, just look at him now. Tang Jihai smiled, worried for the boy, are you? You and your Shadow Guard have been protecting him all this time, and now you're concerned about the competition too? I truly appreciate it. He replied, the kid's already done amazingly. At this point, I have no choice but to expect even more from him. Even without specialized training, I think he'll manage just fine. At that moment in a side hall, Tang Yeonmyeong sat meditating, his mind drifting to all he had done until now. Eating hearty meals cooked by mom, sleeping soundly. Using inner techniques to realign his disrupted meridians. Now it wasn't just about training strength or skill. He looked at his body. For someone who had awakened a past life as a sword god, this was just the beginning. But the physical body was the vessel for power, and now was the perfect time to prepare it. Yeonmyeong pressed 2 fingers on the wooden floor and reflected. I'm still not even 12. My meridians are pure and open. Once my realm rises, I'll naturally undergo body refinement. He flipped up into a split, balancing his whole body on a single finger. Yeonmyeong smiled confidently. Still, the body is the foundation. To keep everything aligned, I need proper rest and nutrition now. That'll do. He stepped outside and looked at the starry sky. The day of the competition arrived. Yeomyung put on his new outfit and bowed. I'll go and return, mother. Tang Jihai with puffy eyes answered, all right, but you must be careful. Tang Jiakwi bowed too. Sister Jihai, take care of yourself, she waved back. Of course, I was happy to see you again. With everything set, he led Yeomyung away, saying, let's go. From behind, Tang Jihai watched her son's back, overwhelmed with emotion. Longryang, our son has grown up so tall. If only you could see this, she smiled proudly. At the Shadow King's hall, Dong led his descendants inside. Steaming rice cakes were served. It seemed they'd arrived too early. Yeomyung munched on a cake, blaming himself. With the captain away for the event, he had to wait here another half hour before the competition began. Suddenly a voice called out, hey you, aren't you the son of Phoenix's son? A group of candidates entered. The lead one shouted, yeah, Tang Yeomyung, you're the guy who wrecked Tang Jeongle, huh? Some snorted, you're kidding, right? Heard he can't even practice martial arts. He wants to compete with us. Yeomyung looked at them with a bored face as mocking voices continued. So this is what the young clan leader competition has come to. We should really reinforce the rules. But before he could finish, something smacked the talker square in the face. He fell flat, shocking everyone. Hey you good bro. One yelled, that punk just threw a hidden weapon. Another one intervened, wait no, that's not a weapon, it's just a rice cake. Indeed, it was the same rice cake Yeomyung had been chewing. They wondered how the heck he made it hit so hard. One clenched his fist. We can't let that slide. Another chimed in, Tang Jeongle had only 2 with him, we've got more. Yeomyung walked up and asked, but did you guys even hear how Tang Jeongle got wrecked? He smirked ominously and waved a hand, but hey, why not experience it firsthand? Oh, by the way, even with a numb arm, Tang Jeongle didn't run. So if you plan to compete with that level of guts, surely you won't run either, right? The group growled and charged, crush that brat. Dozens of them rushed in, unleashing techniques toward Yeomyung. One palm strike landed, leaving a perfect 5-finger print on a guy's face. He flew sideways, right past Tang Jiakwi who had just arrived. Jiakwi scratched his head. Isn't that kid supposed to be a competition candidate? Wait, what the hell is happening? He ran in to find out. Reaching the scene, Tang Jiakwi shouted, what the heck are you kids doing? But then he saw the group groaning on the ground and froze in confusion. Oh, what is this mess? Yeomyung popped a rice cake in his mouth. Oh hey, you're here. Sitting on top of 3 or 4 defeated boys, he sighed. Man, I was getting bored waiting. A mischievous grin spread across his face. Jiakwi's face went blank as Yeomyung added, don't misunderstand. They started it first, let's just let this slide, okay? The Shadow King captain facepalmed hard. In the council chamber, arguments erupted. This can't be allowed. Elder people got injured right before the event, how is this okay? If that brat becomes young clan leader, there will be even worse chaos. In the chaos, Grand Elder Tang Xiaocheng calmly stroked his beard. Then a new announcement was issued. Adjustments would be made to the rules of the tournament. Outside, the candidates whispered among themselves. So how's this competition actually gonna work? A pink-haired girl replied softly. It's 2 to 3 years of secluded training on Hollow Mountain, then a duel. The purple-haired one raised an eyebrow. Wait, who even are you? Tang Yori whispered. Since you asked, I answered, that's all. Tang Murieo was stunned. But isn't all competition info supposed to be classified? How do you know this stuff? Tang Yori puffed her chest. My father works in the administration department. I overheard some hints. Info is power, everywhere. From atop the hall, a voice rang out. Silence all of you. Tang Jiakwi raised his voice proudly. I am Tang Jiakwi, captain of the Shadow King squad, and I'll be opening this year's competition. Let me now explain how it works. The group of candidates whispered excitedly. It's Captain Jiakwi, he's the youngest captain ever, so cool. He continued explaining the rules. The competition spans 4 years, 3 of which are for cultivation. In the first year, everyone chooses their own path and trains freely. For example, throwing techniques, hidden weapons, or poison crafting. In the next 2 years, training will be guided by instructors for full-body martial development. Tang Jiakwi warned seriously, only after completing all that will the official competition begin. The method is. Tang Yori muttered, interrupting, it's one-on-one duels. But at that moment, Tang Xiaocheng stepped up and announced, Goo Poison Battle. That line turned Yori into stone. Everyone gasped, Goo Poison Battle, you mean that Goo Poison? Goo Poison involves trapping deadly creatures in a jar until one survives. The battle is a brutal fight to the death until only one competitor remains. Tang Jiakwi facepalmed helplessly while Tang Xiaocheng explained. Originally, we wanted simple one-on-one duels, but due to a certain mishap, 10 participants were disqualified. Everyone remembered Yeomyung happily smiling on top of his victims. Using standard rules wouldn't prevent more chaos like that. That's why I changed the format, Xiaocheng said, so everyone can unleash their full power. All eyes turned toward Yeomyung, grinding their teeth. It's all because of that brat. Xiaocheng stroked his beard. The young clan leader role is crucial. It represents the clan's future. This isn't child's play, it's a sacred test of life and limits. He roared with zeal, fight, survive, and claim it. The last one standing will inherit everything the Sichuan Tang clan has. Among the standout candidates, Tang Jiangle, Tang Munchen, Tang Younggrio, Tang Xiaochen, Tang Juklin, and Tang Yeomyung. But only one will remain. Yeomyung smirked, this won't be hard. At the headquarters of the Tei Ink Sword Sect in Black Death Alliance's territory, greetings echoed. thanks for gathering, everyone, I know you're all busy. First, please hear me out. As you all know, the Tang clan recently launched the seedling ceremony. You mean the young clan leader competition? One asked. Another added, according to our intel, they just announced it a few days ago. The host nodded, correct. Right after that, all eligible Tang clan youths boarded carriages and departed. Of course, with today's Tang clan, the allied lords could erase them at any time if they wanted. They glanced at you, Giljun, the Black Death Alliance lord. You're only sparing them because they're still useful for now. But Manhwa glared and said, those children are clearly Tang clan's future. If anything happens to them, the clan may never recover. Yeonmu smiled, elder of the Tae sect speaks truth. Ha-yeon added, even if the Tang clan is declining, they're still a force worth watching. So, when do we act? Manhwa declared, we won't do anything just yet. Tracking their carriages and wiping out those seedlings now would be too easy, and not nearly damaging enough. The competition lasts 4 years, but what if, after pouring everything into these kids, they all die at the end? Ha-yeon grinned coldly, now that would be an irrecoverable blow. Yeonmu mused, just like what happened to the Jegal clan or the Moyeon clan. Manhwa nodded, exactly, first we trace where those carriages are headed, then we strike 4 years from now. The pursuit has already been ordered, also, I've planted a little seed. Who knows, maybe the entire Tang clan will fall right into our hands. At this point, Tang Yeonmyoung's group had arrived at Hollow Mountain, the battlefield of the Sichuan Tang clan's young clan leader competition. The martial guide up front explained, though the rules had changed, the schedule and order remained the same. He turned back and added, during the tournament, participants will be referred to by numbers. Each team has 4 people, your team 7. Looking at his team, number 25 was Tang Yori, 26 was Tang Murieo, and 27 was Tang Ijan. Only 3, he asked immediately, wait, where's the 4th one? Where's number 28? He spotted Yeonmyoung walking slowly from afar and yelled, number 28, what are you doing over there? Sorry, Yeonmyoung replied, I was lost in thought. The instructor scolded, there's no time to daydream, keep up or get left behind. But Yeonmyoung thought to himself, I don't get a civilian vibe from that guy. Nor from those behind us, they're not just random Tang clan guards or travelers. He concluded as he rejoined the group, yep, they were being tailed. They now stood before a towering stone wall. Some contestants hesitated and asked, ooh, sir, is this really the place? There's no one here. A voice echoed, state Team 7's passcode. Everyone jumped. Wait, was that the wall talking? The instructor shouted, dark poison sovereign. The stone wall split in two, glowing green, as a voice confirmed entry. Tang Yori was startled by the sudden gust of wind, while Tang Ijan's jaw dropped. Tang Murieo watched quietly, while Yeonmyoung just stood expressionless. A fan waved in the wind as a greeting. From the crack stepped out a figure clad in pristine white robes. The old man smiled and introduced himself. I'll be assisting with this competition. I'm Jegal Changshan. The Jegal clan, once one of the 5 great clans and experts in formations, was now declining like the Tang clan after being breached by Yeonmyoung. Jegal led Team 7 through a flower-lined path. Thanks to the Tang clan, we survived, so now to repay them we'll block outside interference with formations. With that they entered a different space entirely. Surrounded by light, visibility was nil. Tang Yori gasped, so this is a Jegal formation. Tang Ijan panicked, you can't sense time or space, this is insane. As Changshan continued leading, Murieo looked behind. She glared at the guy in the back, Yeonmyoung. There he goes again, zoning out, he's been like that since the carriage ride. Back then the instructor driving the cart said, you'll be together for 3 years. So you might as well introduce yourselves. All eyes turned to Yeonmyoung. You're Tang Yeonmyoung, right? The pink-haired girl greeted him, I'm Tang Yori, heard tons about you. Who doesn't know about that pre-competition fight? Tang Ijan also chimed in, nice to meet you, you're famous weren't you the one who wrecked Tang Yeongryo? The carriage clattered along. Tang Yori said admiringly, you've got guts. Did you know her grandfather is the 3rd elder? We're supposed to be safe during the 4-year contest, but... Yeonmyoung cut in, so what's your point? Because of me, they changed the rules to go poison battle, and that's my fault. Yori brushed it off, the rule change is a bit shocking, but I don't think anyone holding a grudge. Murieo snapped, well I am. Tang Ijan tried to mediate, come on, we're a team now, but Murieo stood firm, nope, I said I'm holding a grudge and I meant it. She pointed straight at Yeonmyoung, that's the face of someone who's ruined everything. Then she saw him smile, oh now you're smiling, she shouted. She kept fuming, everyone else let it slide but not me, I trained so hard for this day. If this brat screws up again, I swear I won't let it go. Lost in thought, she bumped into Tang Yori ahead. Ow, she yelped. Murieo frowned and grumbled, seriously. Why did we stop all of a sudden? Tang Yori weakly asked, about that. Jegal Changshan had completely vanished. The group stared at the cold, empty space ahead while Tang Ijan spun around. He was just there and now he's totally gone. Tang Yori panicked. Where did he go? Tang Murieo turned pale. I heard if you get lost inside a formation, you can never get out. No way, how could a formation master get lost in his own formation? Wait, what about us? How are we supposed to get out? Yori tried to reassure them, let's just stay here. Someone will rescue us, right? Ijan replied, wait, are we trapped in here? At that moment, Tang Murieo noticed Yeonmyoung walking away. Yori asked, anyone here know formations? Murieo mumbled, what's he up to? And how is he walking around like he's sightseeing? Meanwhile, in another dimension, Jegal Changshan was walking and musing. They must be freaking out right about now. This illusion seal maze formation is our clan's masterpiece. Without a caster, there's no escape. He smirked. Still, those Tang elders are so petty. All this over one kid locking up his whole team. He recalled what Tang Jiren Young said, if number 28 disappears, I'll double the support to the Jegal clan. Changshin twirled his fan. Well, how could I not accept an offer like that? He grinned smugly. If this tournament turns unfair, the ones losing out are the Sichuan Tang clan, not us. Just then a strange sound made him freeze. He turned around. A weird noise echoed through the formation. A slash tore open a massive hole in the invisible formation wall, and through it poked Yeonmyung's head. Changshin panicked and shrieked, HHHOW. Yeonmyung smiled and waved. Hey formation master, why'd you leave us behind like that? We're just kids, our legs aren't that long, you know. Changshin stammered, alright, my bad. Leading the kids back, he nervously wondered, what? That formation has no weak spots, how did they even reach me? Yori ran over. Yeonmyung, what did you just do? He casually replied, I cut it. Aijan raised his arms. Cut the formation, are you kidding me? Murieo snapped, now's not the time to joke around. She pointed, we're lucky we found the master again. We can't lose him this time, stick close. But before she could finish, Changshin had already vanished again. He disappeared again, Murieo screamed in terror. Yeonmyung grinned, thinking, this is getting fun. Meanwhile, Changshin's feet scrambled frantically through the formation. Damn it, I'm the Jegal guy, why am I running inside my own maze? Yeonmyung's pupils tracked his every step, but those eyes, they couldn't be read. Just 12 years old, yet his aura was terrifying. Changshin spotted light ahead and cheered internally. That's the passage to the training grounds. He darted out of the formation gate at full speed. Collapsing on the ground, he panted heavily. That should do it. Whatever he did, they definitely can't follow me here. Just then a voice rang out, Formation Master Jegal. He looked up to see Tang Wenjin, the supervisor for Team 7. You look terrible, Wenjin said. Also, where's Team 7? What happened? Still shaken, Changshin stammered. Oh, about that. He reminded himself to stay calm. He had rehearsed this. He explained, well, it seems Team 7 can't join the competition. Wenjin blinked. Excuse me. I waited a while but no one showed up. Maybe they were attacked by mountain bandits or wild beasts. He forced the last of his prepared excuses. It's regrettable but accidents happen, so just disqualify Team 7 and... Before he could finish, a crack tore open behind him. Tang Wenjin squinted toward the direction of the sound. Changshin's eyes bulged as he screamed internally, no way, the formation. Wenjin asked cautiously, what's that, an intruder? Changshin quickly cut in, no, not yet, let me confirm first. On the other side, a sharp saber was slicing into the crack. A powerful shock shattered the previously unbreakable gate of the formation. Changshin looked on in heartbreak. It's broken. One of the pinnacle formations of the Jegal clan. The mighty illusion seal maze formation just got busted wide open like a cheap lock. Behind the wreck stood Yeonmyung, smirking, the one who caused that earthquake-level tremor. Both Wenjin and Changshin stared wide-eyed at the boy before them. Oh man, what a relief, Yeonmyung sneered with a grin. His eyes glowed red ominously. I was so worried something might have happened to you, Gramps. Tang Murieo blurted, oh wow, that looked just now totally unexpected. He shattered the formation with a single sword swing. Is that even legal? Yeonmyung turned and calmly said, didn't break it, just opened a hole. It's closing soon, better get out, people. Wenjin spoke up, making everyone turn his way. These are Team 7 participants, he said while Changshin looked paler than paper. Murieo responded, yes, that's us. But who's that guy? Aijan noticed the Tang clan pattern on Yeonmyung's headband. Wenjin lowered his voice, I was worried you were attacked, just like Formation Master Jegal said, but thank goodness. Yeonmyung asked, attack. Must have been a misunderstanding. We got lost, sure, but luckily someone left a marker at the formation entrance, so we just followed that here. Aijan tried to yell, no, we didn't, but was cut off by the others. Murieo whispered, why lie? Yori muttered, he must have his reasons. Yeonmyung looked at Changshin's dazed face and thought, he was probably bribed by the Tang clan. Just a hunch, so I'll let it go. For now. He shot a glare and warned, but if I find out after the tournament that you colluded with the elders, I'll uproot your whole family tree. Even the leaves. Changshin nervously fanned himself. Haha, my bad. I'll go check on the, damaged formation now. He didn't wait for a reply, just bolted. Left behind, Tang Wenjin cleared his throat and welcomed them. You're safe now. There were some errors in your guidance. I sincerely apologize. Folding his arms, he declared, I'll be your official instructor during the tournament. I'm Tang Wenjin of the Defense Corps. Murieo exclaimed, Defense Corps, but I heard they vanished over a decade ago. The Defense Corps, an elite unit once under the former Tang clan heir. Each member was strong enough to rival a full squad leader. Murieo glanced at Yeonmyung, who was casually picking his nose, and thought, wait, the former heir was Phoenix's son, Yeonmyung's mom, so then. Before she could finish, Yeonmyung asked, why aren't you living at Tang clan anymore? Murieo added, you've never been back. Wenjin explained, 10 years ago we fought the Heaven's Brilliance Demon Lord to protect Phoenix's son, our lady and former heir. And we lost badly, his face darkened with regret. We failed to protect her, that's why we're nothing but criminals now. Behind Wenjin, more comrades from the Defense Corps appeared. Anyway, enough backstory, let's move on to the rules, listen up. Aijan side-eyed him and thought, criminals huh? Wenjin continued his speech, the first year will be for self-guided training. You'll study techniques or receive guidance based on your performance. Yori asked nervously, so wait, does that mean we'll get to practice the legendary Tang clan move that fought the Demon Lord, the 10,000 Flower Rain? Wenjin crushed her dreams flat. the 10,000 flower rain is only passed down to the heir of the Tang clan. Though not perfect, the key techniques are still being passed down from the elders. Yeomyung pondered 10,000 flower rain, they say it's like a storm of hidden weapons. He recalled his own earlier moves, seemed kinda similar to his sword control technique. Maybe I can copy it. Wonjin added, if you become the young clan heir, the elders will personally teach you each key technique of 10,000 flower rain. Whether you can actually perform it, who knows? Enough chatter, go focus on your training. Group or solo, your choice. Yori raised a hand, excuse me master, where exactly will we be staying? Like, where's the bed? Wonjin replied deadpan, obviously you survive on your own out in this forest. What you thought it'd be cozy with turn-down service and incense. He tilted his head, comfort doesn't make you strong. Behind him, whispers echoed, back in my day, kids these days can't even hit enlightenment unless life smacks them in the face. Wonjin cut them off with 2 taps to their heads, then finished. Alright, time for each of you to judge for yourselves and start training. Yori's group sighed as they patted each other's backs in defeat. What if we pass the test? A voice suddenly rang out. Yeomyung said lazily, then we get a comfy bed, right? Sleep's crucial for growth, you know. Adjusting to the forest is kinda overrated for young geniuses like me. Everyone groaned, this lunatic again. Wonjin squinted, isn't that the brat who broke my formation earlier? Guess a power test isn't a bad idea after all. Meanwhile, the rest swarmed Yeomyung shouting, what the heck bro, what even are you? Who even are you? Wonjin declared, fine, if you pass this test, I'll let you stay in the manor inside the formation. But if you disappoint me, he growled, you better be ready, number 28. Yeomyung grinned, deal. Good, said Wonjin, starting preparations. It's simple, everyone else will scatter and throw hidden weapons at you. If you can dodge or deflect them within 5 steps, it's over. It starts once you're blindfolded. Yeomyung wrapped a cloth over his eyes himself. From all around, the team members readied their throwing knives. Hands tensed, all aimed toward the smug little dude. Murieo and the others couldn't help but worry. Can this even work, and why is no one moving? She suddenly realized they're intentionally waiting. The longer it drags, the higher the pressure. At that moment, a rain of hidden weapons flew toward him. Each one swirled through its own unique arc, racing toward Yeomyung. He focused. His senses told him, 200 flying knives incoming. Yeomyung smirked, sure it's a lot, but whatever. Wonjin's eyes widened at what happened next. Yeomyung's saber sliced the air, deflecting the knives one by one. Everyone used to underestimate martial arts, but inside them lies true logic. Put simply, weight, speed, change, adaptation. High-level martial arts have breaking, countering, cutting-edge principles. Yeomyung had already grasped those through swordsmanship. This was easy-peasy for him. The techniques he displayed left the crowd wide-eyed in awe. To those who hadn't grasped the truth, it felt like a meteor to the face. Wonjin clenched his teeth. He deflected all of them in one move. No, wait, he didn't deflect, he pulled them in. Yori blinked in disbelief. What the heck are we even witnessing? Aijan exclaimed, he just swung once and all the hidden weapons came flying. I even had to dodge. Yeomyung removed his blindfold, so, did I pass? Wonjin looked unsure, honestly even he wasn't totally certain. Aijan called out. Master Wonjin, trying to snap him back to reality. Wonjin cleared his throat. Alright, the results are in. Deep down he thought, yep, we just discovered a little monster. He looked at Yeomyung, who stood calmly with his saber still in hand, and said, you passed, you can rest at the manor. Aijan looked stunned. Well duh, of course he passed. Yori muttered jealously. Murieo pointed and snapped, so you're just gonna leave your teammates and enjoy the cushy life, huh? Yeomyung looked back at them, considering it for a moment. Then smiled like a punk. Hands on hips, he laughed. Oh man, I bet the rice at the manor's a whole different vibe. Not that y'all get rice in the forest anyway. Really looking forward to it, the other 3 cried silently. Then charged at Murieo. You bastard, you just gonna leave us. Wonjin watched the chaos and thought, at least they're still motivated. But man, looks like this trial's turning into a war already. Just then Yeomyung stopped in his tracks and added, oh yeah. Make sure there's meat, gotta eat well to grow strong. Wonjin muttered, maybe this kid really will revive the Tang clan someday. Deep in the forest, some wolves were busy chomping down on their latest kill. They tore into the carcass with primal fury. Suddenly, a weird sensation jolted through their brains. The strange taste made them cough violently, and they all collapsed like dominoes. Right then, 3 figures burst from the bushes, weapons ready. That night, firelight flickered from a cliffside cave. Yori smiled, lucky that nerve poison worked. Aijan nodded, yeah, we should totally do this every time. They started complimenting each other. Aijan, your poison mixing is top-notch, and that throwing knife technique, underrated. The 3 kids sat staring blankly at the roasting meat, cheeks puffed out in hunger. They recalled the last 4 months. That first day, we were too busy running for our lives. Why was our first enemy a bear anyway? We lived off tree roots for days. When they finally managed their first hunt, they all cried like bobbies. The hideout was a bit high up, but hey, at least it's done. Aijan sighed, Yeomyung, probably living like royalty by now. Murieo growled, don't even mention that name. But he insisted, still, I'm kinda curious. She flared up, curious about that lazy freeloader, probably living his best life doing nothing. She imagined a glorious future. Just wait till I get to that manor, I'll stomp him on sight. Aijan just muttered, sure. Then he quietly recalled he was already amazing a few days ago. If he's been training nonstop, how strong is he now? Suddenly Murieo yelled, hey wait a sec. Where'd all the meat go? Their fire pit was now suspiciously meatless. Their eyes slowly turned toward the figure behind them. Tang Yori lay sprawled out patting her belly. Ah, so full. She looked up, totally unfazed by danger. Hey guys, the firelight's blocked, mind moving a bit. Why are y'all looking at me like that? From inside the cave came a furious scream. Don't you know already, you pig? Meanwhile, at the manor hidden within the 7-layer illusion formation on Mount Hollow, in a dim courtyard, one young man was surrounded by a swarm of people. Yomyo scanned his surroundings. Members of the elite Windguard team stood across from him, ready to strike. Tang Wenjin gave the order, begin. Instantly, the team members flung throwing knives toward Yomyo, but he smoothly leaned back and dodged them like a breeze in spring. The blades sliced through nothing but air before they could land. Yomyo raised his knee and kicked one guy square in the face. That move triggered the others to rush in all at once. Blades pointed straight at Yomyo from every angle, but he didn't even flinch. In a blink, he vanished from their line of attack. Everyone froze in surprise. Then from above, Yomyo came crashing down from midair. Pulling out 4 golden rings, he slid them onto his fingers and said, "All right, time to test my new move." He grinned as he gathered energy into the rings on both hands. One teammate gasped, he's coming. Yomyo swung his hands through the air. The others watched confused, throwing weapons in midair. Sure enough, the tiny rings with twin blades were zipping around above like buzzing bees. One guy muttered, "Isn't that just some wild flinging?" But his buddy got grazed across the chest, blood spurting, collapsing in a heap. The first guy freaked out, but before he finished, he got hit twice himself. Other members looked up but could only curse. The projectiles moved too fast to track. Yomyo shouted, "Return." The tornado's scatter shot. On command, the flying rings reversed course and sliced again with ruthless precision. Wanjin stared in disbelief. No way. His well-trained squad was defeated in mere seconds. And that wide-range attack was calibrated just enough to tear clothing, not flesh. He asked, "That technique, did you create it yourself?" Yomyo replied flatly, "Yup." Wanjin examined a ring in his hand. "If this catches you, escape is impossible. What a fine move. What's it called?" Yomyo answered, "I call it tornado scatter shot." Wanjin nodded slowly. "I see, but surely a move like that must drain tons of inner energy. How do you manage that?" Yomyo recalled, "Didn't I ask the master to bring me scrolls on eye techniques a few days ago?" Wanjin nodded. "Yes, there's the sky-piercing eye and the shifting flow eye. The latter isn't complete, so I recommended the former." Yomyo casually said, "I've mastered the shifting flow eye." Wanjin nearly choked. "Mastered the shifting flow eye, but that's the oldest eye technique of the Tang clan. The secret arts were lost. How?" Yomyo kept explaining, "Even if the secrets are missing, it's clear this is a top-tier martial art. If you throw hidden weapons at the spots you perceive using the shifting flow eye, even with low internal energy, you can hit your target perfectly." Wanjin wiped his sweat. This was ridiculous. Did he really figure it out and restore a lost technique? He sighed, "Looks like it's time I tell you. 2 months from now, your teammates will come here and undergo the same test you did." He thought of Aijan, Yori, and Murieo, diligently hunting their skills. Truth is, they're already strong enough, but they said they'd train a little more before showing up. Yomyo grinned. "Really, that's exciting. I wonder how strong my friends have got." Wanjin watched Yomyo's back as he walked off and thought, so he does care about his teammates after all. Though, I doubt he realizes he's their motivational punching bag. Yomyo looked up at the sky and murmured, "Fate, huh. In my past life, the only bond I had was with my master, the sword demon. But now, no matter where I came from or what I'm like, I've formed new bonds. Isn't this what living is about?" He smiled softly. "I don't know why, but I really want to see them soon." Meanwhile, over on the cliffside, Murieo yelled, "You ate everything again." Yori stammered, sorry, I didn't realize while eating." Aijan tried to mediate. "Come on, it's fine, we'll be in the manor like Yomyo soon." Murieo shouted, "I said stop mentioning that jerk." Night slowly passed. Another stretch of time had gone by. They took firm steps forward, remembering how they were just baby monkeys on day 1. Team 7 members stood tall with fire in their eyes, hyped by Murieo's words. "Now we're on a whole different level." She sneered, "That brat Yomyo, I'm so looking forward to seeing him again." Yori pouted, "I'm gonna split his head in 2. Aijan frowned but thought, is this really okay? They chanted, "Down with Yomyo, Team 7 will win." The Windguard team flinched. One guy watched them and thought, what's going on with these kids? Terrifying. In the manor within the formation, a loud voice rang out. "Tang Yomyo, get your butt out here now." Murieo looked around. Why is it so quiet? Then she grinned smugly. "Ran away already. I was gonna smash his skull." Murieo frowned, turning. "Tang Aijan, why haven't you said a word this whole time?" She stopped mid-sentence, eyes locking onto Aijan being headlocked by Yomyo. The 2 girls turned pale as Yomyo teased, "I was hiding to surprise you. Fun, right?" Yomyo smiled mischievously. Adorable reactions. Gentle sunlight poured down on the Tang clan courtyard. Yomyo looked at the dumbfounded girls. "Well, what are you 2 waiting for?" Grinning shamelessly, he put one arm around terrified Aijan and extended the other toward the girls. "Ready to crack my skull? I hope to see the results of your half-year of training." Half joking, he added, "Or shall I go first?" Murieo flailed her hands. "Nope, we were just kidding." She frowned, thinking, I didn't even notice him sneak up on us, and I've sharpened my senses in the forest too. Suddenly a hand smacked Yori's back, making her jump. Murieo stared at Yomyo hugging both Aijan and Yori. That gap in strength, what the heck has he been doing all this time? She stared hard at his face. He's taller and his face is also. Then suddenly something felt off. Murieo blushed, thinking, wait, what am I even thinking? Is this because I've only been seeing wild animals in the forest and now I finally see a human? Yeonmyung spoke up, snapping her back to reality. Don't be discouraged. From what I see, you've all gotten way stronger than before. He added with an overly confident grin, it's just that my brilliance makes yours seem dimmer in comparison. After saying that, he flashed a bright smile, completely ignoring the judging looks from Aijan and Yori. That ridiculous arrogance froze Murieo in place. He really hasn't changed. The sky had already turned dark, lights were on inside the house, and a voice rang out, is everyone here yet? At the round table, 6 men were gathered. They greeted an old man just walking in. You're back, Lord. It's only been 6 months, but you look pretty exhausted. The one they were addressing was Jegal Changshan, the head of the Jegal clan. The old man said, let's get to the point. Are there any promising ones in your teams? One person answered right away, participant number 2 has shown remarkable progress, more than the others. Number 2 referred to Tang Youngryong. He remembered her fierce appearance during training. It was beyond survival or strength. It was like she was driven by hate. It seemed number 2 was using her deep-seated rage as fuel to grow stronger. He made this observation after seeing her bloodshot eyes. Another person chimed in, if we're talking about contenders, we can't overlook number 10, Tang Juklin. He passed the master's test in just a month, he added. The room buzzed with conversation. Someone asked, anyone else worth nodding? Another replied, from our group, number 18 looks good. Only Changshan remained silent, resting his chin on his hand, clearly worried. Sure, numbers 2 and 10 had potential, but after seeing number 28, they just didn't compare. He recalled the moment the boy broke through the formation with his 3 friends. It was shocking even back then. He had secretly used the formation to observe the boy, and after spying on his training, he was even more stunned. Number 28's skills were beyond even seasoned warriors. But Changshan hesitated. Targeting number 28 could be risky. Maybe the boy had realized he was being watched. Suddenly someone asked, Lord, are you alright? You don't look too good. The old man snapped out of his thoughts. After a pause, he grinned and said, I'm fine, just that my group didn't have any prodigies worth mentioning. He resolved to exclude number 28 from discussion. What they needed was a controllable puppet, so he proposed they focus on number 2 instead. I'll introduce my granddaughter, she's quite the catch. He was referring to Tang Youngryong. Number 2 is rumored to have facial scars and a rather unfortunate appearance. Winning over such a kid won't be easy. The old man smirked, if we help her win and become the heir, then marry her to my grandson and produce an heir. He continued slyly, the Jegal clan would officially become in-laws of the Tang family, giving us influence over their affairs. He went on fantasizing about a glorious future, more voice in decisions, more benefits, and eventually merging the Jegal and Tang clan. That's why we're supporting this competition within the Tang clan. Everyone nodded in agreement. Sounds like a solid plan, they said. He wrapped it up, so that's what we'll do. After the meeting, they all left. Changshan still seemed a bit regretful. Missing out on number 28's talent was a shame. If he survives the trials, maybe I'll lure him with a vengeance scheme. Or adopt him and make him the heir of the Jegal clan. That'd be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, he thought with a pleased chuckle. The next morning, Yari and Murieo were already at the training ground. Her throwing knives hit the bullseye, all 3 clustering right in the red dot. Murieo raised her fist in celebration. Awesome, Yori clapped and praised her. Murieo thought to herself, living at the manor really boosted our training. The training load doubled, but the comfy beds made it all worth it. She turned to Yori and asked, are Aijan and Yeonmyung in the lab again today? Yori replied, yeah, that Aijan kid stormed in, grinding his teeth. He said he's definitely going to kill him, Yori added. Murieo blinked, wait, is that safe? Aijan is the best at poison making. Inside the poison lab, Aijan beamed proudly. Check this out, I poured my whole heart into this batch of poison. This'll show him I'm not to be underestimated. Suddenly, Yeonmyung walked in and picked up the bowl. What are you making? Then Yeonmyung suddenly downed the whole bowl. Aijan panicked, why would you drink that? Are you insane? He grabbed Yeonmyung and shook him violently. Spit it out now, do you want to die, you lunatic? Yeonmyung puffed out his cheeks, his face turning green like a banana leaf. Aijan was horrified. Did it already start working? That was way too fast. Yeonmyung exhaled a sickly green mist. He wiped his mouth and said to Aijan, who was rolling on the floor covering his eyes, why are you shaking me so much? Suddenly Yeonmyung shivered a little. He chuckled, this poison's weaker than I expected. Aijan freaked out, what? That poison melts your organs if ingested. But seeing Yeonmyung standing there totally fine, he asked in confusion, wait, how are you still alive? Yeonmyung grinned wickedly, let's see. He added, maybe your poison's just that pathetic. That successfully triggered Aijan, whose screams echoed from the lab, why won't you just die already? Murieo sighed, whatever's going on, it's probably ugly. Yori agreed, for real. Aijan stared in disbelief as Yeonmyung downed his poison like it was fine wine. Stop drinking my poisons like you're at a tavern. Yeonmyung looked at the now empty bowl, all gone, didn't feel a thing. Aijan snapped, there's nothing left for you to gulp, you lunatic. Aijan slammed the table in frustration, damn it, why isn't it working? Are you some kind of poison immune freak? Yeonmyung thought to himself, well, not quite poison immune freak. Poison spirit greenlight technique is both a family art and a toxic-based inner energy skill passed down in the Tang family. Strangely enough, even the user can be poisoned by it. Since it uses internal energy with poison, the user has to process the toxins internally too. He smiled, just as I thought, once the poison entered my body, it was converted into internal energy and stored. To me, poison's not much different from a miracle tonic. He looked at Aijan pouting miserably, but hey, this level of mastery only comes from deep understanding. Anyone who thinks poison is just a weapon won't get it by mere explanation. He reflected seriously, now that light poisons don't boost my power anymore, I need stronger stuff. He visualized a few old evil elders and made up his mind. Before he could enjoy peace again, he had a long list of baddies to erase. With effort, he could take care of those elders anytime. But the Black Death Alliance or Heaven's Brilliance, fighting either of them was no guaranteed win. While he didn't have a grudge against the Black Death Alliance, its leader was powerful enough to split Sichuan in two, so he couldn't be taken lightly. That leader had already wiped out 3 sects, definitely a rare genius. If he were his past self, he could fight him, but in this current body, no way. He needed to match his former strength to truly live up to his new life. Comparing his mighty past self to his current mini version, he glanced over at Aijan slumped on the table. If only Aijan could make poisons several times stronger, Aijan groaned. If I could make the Tang clan's 10 poisons. Hearing that, Yeonmyeong quickly asked, wait, what are the Tang clan's 10 poisons? Aijan yelled, you're the former clan head's own blood, how do you not know this? But he explained anyway, they're the 10 deadliest poisons passed down for generations. From first poison to 10th poison, the higher the number, the deadlier it gets. But apparently more than half the formulas are lost now. The 10th poison is said to kill even high-level masters. The remaining poisons are each guarded by different elders. Yeonmyeong was stunned. Even masters at bone transformation stage can't handle them. He rubbed his chin with a mischievous grin. That's exactly the kind of poison I'm looking for. He asked again, so Aijan, you really can't make the 10 poisons? Aijan sighed. If anyone could, it wouldn't be legendary, would it? And I told you the recipes are lost. Yeonmyeong patted his head with a pouty face. What a shame, your poisons don't even tickle me anymore. Aijan nearly exploded. This guy, I swear. Anyway, those poisons are so dangerous, they're banned. Even you would probably die if you drank one. Somewhere in the dark night, a hand was gripping someone's neck tightly. Youngryong was being strangled by a massive man who was also emitting black smoke, apparently poisoned by her. Yunpa growled through the pain, what the hell did you do to me, and suddenly coughed up sparks. Youngryong sneered with contempt, go on, what about my face, huh? Tang Seokchan's eyes, ears, and mouth were shooting sparks. He lunged straight at Youngryong, but he didn't even get close. His finger had turned to stone and shattered. Youngryong stared in horror at his crumbling hand. His whole body petrified and collapsed, shattering completely, leaving behind only ashes. Youngryong was stunned. She smirked slyly, so this is the power of the poison passed down from my grandfather. Behold the Tang clan's 10 poisons. She lifted her bangs, revealing her other eye, and grinned menacingly. Heh heh. She recalled Yeonmyeong's dumbfounded face in front of her, holding a sharp, long needle. The agony I endured that day, I'll never forget it. The wind picked up as Youngryong brushed her bangs aside, exposing a terrifying, demon-like eye with a hateful smile. This rage and pain, I'll unleash it all in the poison battle, Yeonmyeong. Beneath the clear blue sky, a voice echoed, so it's been half a year already, huh? Yeonmyeong's group stood before Wonjin, the instructor of Team 7, as he advised, you've been training in the forest for quite a while. Of course you've improved, but you still need more real experiences to master your martial arts. After this training phase, I'll appoint a temporary team leader to help manage and train the group. Yori and Murieo asked, you mean you're choosing the leader now? Yeonmyeong yawned, barely paying attention. Wonjin continued, this is just temporary. Once you mature more, we'll pick official leaders. For now, it's for convenience. He added seriously, even if it's temporary, it matters. There'll be a poison battle coming up and your leader will represent you in that dangerous challenge. It's an honor but also a real test. The poison battle is no joke, but if someone shines or wins, they'll be noticed by the Tang clan higher-ups. Understand? Yori asked again, so only the best member of each team enters, not everyone. Then she mumbled, makes sense, if everyone joined, the Tang clan would run out of descendants real quick. Murieo nodded, obviously the most promising one is. Number 28, Yeonmyeong, she added, that kid is easily the strongest among us. Yeonmyeong still looked clueless. Aijan turned to him and said, you're not just team leader, you're probably our champion candidate for the poison battle, Yeonmyeong. Wonjin thought seriously, well, like I said, this is only temporary, you're all still young, once you grow up we'll revisit leadership. Then he announced, so number 28, Yeonmyeong, you'll be the team leader, any objections? When no one said a word, Wonjin declared, all right then, number 28 stepped forward. He held out an open box with a glowing white pill inside, saying, here, this is your reward. Yeonmyeong blinked, a pill. Wonjin nodded, yes, a high-grade Tang clan medicine, the Heavenly Heart Pill. It's made only by the Tang clan, using rare herbs, especially the root of ginseng several hundred years old. Depending on your absorption, it can boost your internal energy by 2 to 3 levels. Behind Yeonmyeong, Yori, Murieo, and Aijan peeked at the shiny pill and gasped, no way, he gets a pill that boosts internal power. Wonjin explained, of course, he's the team leader and will represent the group in the poison battle. Future of the Tang clan rests on people like him. He silently added, after seeing your past performances, I have high hopes for you, Yeonmyeong. Stay calm. When your spirit is at its best, take the Heavenly Heart Pill to strengthen yourself. Suddenly Yeonmyeong asked, sir, is there any other reward for the team leader? Wonjin was confused. Huh, Yeomyung clarified. Since I'll risk my life in this crazy tournament, does the Tang clan offer anything else? This pill boosts power by 2 or 3 levels, sure, but I'm still young. My internal energy will grow anyway. Isn't there another prize? The trio behind him nearly fainted. Aijan snapped, what the hell, are you nuts, Yeonmyung? Yori was just as shocked. That pill's a treasure, not lunch. Murieo grumbled, if you don't want it, hand it over to me then. Wonjin was puzzled, so you don't want the Heavenly Heart pill? A pill any martial artist would kill for? Weirdest kid ever, he asked. Alright then, what do you want? Yeomyung replied confidently, obviously if not hidden weapons, then poison. Wonjin's eyes went wide. Yeomyung said calmly, I want deadly poison. I want the Tang clan's 10 poisons. He glanced at the lineup of hidden weapons and sighed, those are one of our clan's 2 big things, but it's the second one I'm after. Murieo patted his shoulder, you brought up weapons, so he gave you weapons. The 10 poisons? Yeah, don't count on that. Yeomyung responded vaguely, knowing full well that only top elders know about the 10 poisons. Murieo threw a punch in frustration, which Yeomyung dodged easily, still grinning like a brat. Murieo charged at him furiously, yelling, are you kidding me? You gave up a rare energy-boosting pill for some junk market poison darts? But Yeomyung kept dodging. Yori intervened, hey, he's the leader now, he knows what he needs. At our level, even a 2-3 boost won't help much. Aijan chimed in, honestly, the higher-ups are probably thrilled. One less pill gone, a pile of cheap hidden weapons given away. Smart trade, Yeonmyung. Murieo wheezed in disbelief while Yeomyung muttered, what do you all take me for? By the way, I haven't actually returned the Heavenly Heart pill yet. That one sentence made all 3 of them freeze like statues. 3 hours earlier, Wonjin handed Yeomyung a box. Here, the hidden weapons you wanted. I packed them all. You sure they're worth more than the pill? Yeomyung admitted, yeah, maybe asking for the 10 poisons was pushing it. Guess that's off the table. Wonjin sighed, exactly. No way you're getting that. But out of all the team leaders, you're the only one who asked to trade the pill for poison. He waved Yeomyung off. Now that you've got your weapons, you may leave. Yeomyung nodded, this will do just fine. He turned to Wonjin and asked, but sir, there's something I'd like to ask. Wonjin looked a bit surprised but replied, all right, go ahead. Yeomyung asked, so what will you do with that pill then? Wonjin replied, what do you think? You think I'll keep it? Of course not. If unused, it'll be sent back to the clan's medicine vault. Yeomyung disagreed, thinking he'd hold onto the pill, and said, I don't think so. To avoid wasting that precious pill, I have a suggestion. Hear me out. Wonjin's head instantly filled with question marks. Yeomyung explained to his 3 teammates, as I said, the pill hasn't been returned yet. My idea is, if anyone from the group can beat the team leader, me, then they get to keep it. The trio's jaws dropped. Wait, what? Are you saying he agreed to let us fight you for the Heavenly Heart pill? And yes, Wonjin had agreed. Alright, if that's your plan, it works. It'll motivate the kids to push harder. That pill is meant to strengthen our future talents anyway, so the more powerhouses we nurture, the better. Yeomyung repeated Wonjin's words, so train hard if you want that pill. But remember, he added, you'll need real strength before the poison battle. That's also when we'll reselect the team leader. No one waited for him to finish, they all bolted. Murieo shouted, I'm off to train my secret weapons. Yori added, time to practice poison arts. Yeomyung chuckled at the kids running off, such innocent lambs. Watching them, he smiled warmly, someday I'll become Tang clan's patriarch. When that day comes, I'll ensure you all have chances to revive the best pills and top secret manuals of our clan. The kids shouted, hey Yeomyung, come spar with me. That got on his nerves, time really flew. They kept urging, come on, I'm ready to beat you this time. Yeomyung sighed, alright, I'm coming. Summer came with green leaves. Autumn followed with red leaves falling. Then winter arrived, thick with snow. And finally spring returned, painting the world pink with cherry blossoms. A whole year had passed. Aijan was kicked flying and rolled on the ground groaning, oh man. He gritted his teeth in pain, I can't take this anymore. Yeomyung stood there under the warm sun, looking cool as ever. He shouted, alright, what's the deal? Already worn out, that makes this the 150th time you've lost to me. Murieo gasped, he's a monster, we fought him non-stop and he's still fresh as a daisy while we're dying. Yori rested her chin in her hands, non-stop fighting. I'm exhausted, but I still dream of doing something great for the Tang clan. She looked at Yeomyung as she said that. Murieo blushed slightly and teased, you're pretty passionate. I wonder who that someone is. Yori turned shy, not telling. Yeomyung helped Aijan up, alright, you accepted it, huh? He casually added, you're talking about me becoming Tang clan's patriarch, right? Aijan sighed, man, already dreaming of that future? You haven't even fought all the strong clansmen yet. Still, I gotta admit, your strength is way above ours now. I doubt any of us juniors can beat you. He grabbed Yeomyung's hand, even if you become patriarch, don't ever look down on your old pals like us. Just as he stood, Wonjin appeared behind them like a ninja, impressive. In just a year you all have improved greatly. Team leader number 28 was clearly the right choice. His tone turned stern, there will be no changes now. The poison battle officially starts tomorrow, Yeomyung, get ready. He warned, this battle won't be easy. Yeomyung smiled back, thanks sir. Wonjin continued, it's been 3 years since your training started. Many teams disbanded, gave up, or lost members during the trials. Murieo and Yori smiled as he added, but your team, still intact and much stronger than before. Aijan laughed at the praise. Yeomyung gave him a playful smack, not many teams can say that, be proud folks. Wonjin grew serious again. The poison battle is deadly, especially for juniors like you. Listen, Yeonmyeong. Yeonmyeong looked puzzled at the mention of his name. In that battle you'll face poisons you've never seen. Some are banned, but in life or death moments, who cares about rules? Other clans will bring poisons just as strong as ours. This isn't the time for mercy, just take out your enemies however you can. I know your strength, but real combat is another beast. Stay alive no matter what. The poison battle was near. Aijan handed Yeonmyeong a box full of deadly poisons. These are from the clan for you. He warned they're seriously potent, not quite the 10 poisons, but close. One drop could take down an elephant, so handle with care. Yori blinked. That many? Aijan kept going. Just don't let the fumes get in your eyes or you'll go blind. He gave a whole lecture about safe poison handling. Anyway, enough talk. He ended with, it's time to stop training and enter the real fights. We're all worried about you, but hey, we believe you'll win. Go for it, Yeonmyeong. He reached out to fist bump him. Yori cheered while Murieo looked like she was about to cry. And Yeonmyeong grabbed Aijan's wrist and said, all right then. Then out of nowhere he took Aijan's hand and slammed it into his own face so hard his head flung back, making Aijan panic like crazy. With blood dripping from his nose, Yeonmyeong said, I swear, by the end of the poison battle, this will be my only injury. Aijan clutched his aching hand in tears, while the other three cringed at Yeonmyeong's over-the-top melodrama. Yeonmyeong stepped through the spatial gate toward the poison battle and waved back to his team, I'm off, see ya later. Scene shift, a hand gripping a crimson vial, and thus the battle finally begins. Yeongryong clutched the red potion tightly, saying, luckily, my family gave me this top-tier poison. With this in hand, first place is mine. But just before Yeongryong could enter the spatial gate, someone stopped her. She was surprised and asked, Yeonhyuk clan, you're helping me, then added, and what exactly can you do for me in this battle? An elder from the same round table as before said, our Yeonhyuk clan created the poison battlefield. So naturally we know every inch of the map, defensive strongholds, attack spots, we'll share all that with you. Yeongryong asked coolly, okay got it, but what do you want in return? The elder replied, our clan has fallen into ruin, lacking funds to rise again. We seek a mutually beneficial partnership with the Tang clan, not full control, just cooperation. Yeongryong, growing impatient, asked again, okay, but why me? What if I say no? You haven't even offered me anything good yet. The elder raised both hands in peace, true, but to earn your trust, we'll give you full access to the poison battlefield's intel. Hopefully, that builds a solid foundation for our future alliance. With her wounded eyes flaring, Yeongryong growled, the time is near. I've waited too long for this moment. That bastard, he's gonna pay with interest. She pressed both hands to her cheeks and grinned maniacally. We'll meet again soon. Oh yes we will. Team 1, Tang Yeongryong. Team 2, Tang Jeongil. Tang Juklin slung a blood-stained sword over his shoulder, glanced coldly behind him and said, this year's strongest team, I'm looking forward to you. Don't disappoint me. He walked through the spatial gate, leaving behind the corpse of a training supervisor like it was just another Tuesday. After 3 years of harsh training, it's time to show you all what death knocking on your door really looks like. Team 4 Tang Hiran, Team 5 Tang Jeol, Team 6 Tang Moonchen. Yeonmyeong stood atop a mountain, gazing down at the scenery and muttered, whoa. He shaded his eyes from the sun and said with excitement, time to jump into the fray, great weather today for some epic action. The poison battle had officially begun. Looking around at the landscape, Yeonmyeong asked himself, is this really the place where the poison battle takes place? Staring at the endless rolling hills, he muttered, man, this place is huge. He shielded his eyes and grumbled, if I want to find someone, this'll take forever. Behind him, the blurry figure of Changshin observed Team B's 28th member. The old man stared at Yeonmyeong's back with regret, such talent, such a waste if I don't act soon. The Yeonhyuk clan had made their move. He had to act before things got messy. Suddenly his eyes widened in shock. Yeonmyeong was staring right at the empty space where Changshin was hiding, a place he definitely shouldn't have seen. Changshin began to sweat. Is he looking at me? Did I blow my cover? Suddenly, Changshin's blurry image was sliced clean in half. Yeonmyeong swung his short sword with a clean, vicious arc that cut through the air like butter. Staring into the void, he trusted his instincts and said, someone's watching me. Could it be the Yeonhyuk clan? He recalled what Wonjin once said, only participants are allowed in here, yet his suspicions only grew. While thinking it over, he slowly walked to the cliff's edge, scheming before the battle even starts, and they still want in. Without hesitation, he leapt. I don't know what games they're playing, but hey, bring it on. As he fell into the abyss, a fire burned inside him. When the poison battle ends, interrogate me all you want. On this side, Changshin stood before the formation, one hand covering his face and panting, wondering, I used the formation, and he still spotted me. Fear and fury flashed in his bloodshot eyes. If I don't collect the Eye of Formation connected to the Wisdom Realm formation soon, I'll go blind. Besides, that was a spatial sword technique within a formation. I've never seen such swordplay. I was wrong, we cannot afford to underestimate him. If our plan is exposed, revenge will rain down on us. Elder Ha clenched his fists. He must stop number 28 at all costs. Meanwhile, inside the poison battle arena, a pair of legs staggered forward, leaving a trail of dripping blood. Tang Hiren clutched her injured arm with the other, her body covered in wounds as she struggled to move. Crying in pain, she sobbed, "How did it come to this? I don't want to die, I don't want to die." She recalled a beautiful childhood with her parents and their advice, "Just do well enough and join the military, that's all we ask." All she ever wanted was to support her hardworking parents. Her face turned pale. "Why did things end up like this? I never wanted the position of young clan heir. I was planning to surrender." She trembled, recalling that horrifying moment when Tang Juklin, blood on his face, grinned wickedly. "What's this? Everyone's here. Excellent." He then charged forward and slaughtered every single participant in the poison battle. Hiren hid behind a nearby bush, covering her mouth, terrified to make even a sound. "Surrender, his goal is to wipe us all out." Tang Hiren dragged her broken body to flee, thinking, "Whoever I run into, I'll just surrender to survive. I hope the others are okay. I'll head for the exit if that guy becomes clan head." Suddenly, a terrifying voice rang out behind her. "Then what?" Hiren froze, Juklin carrying heads in one hand and his sword on his shoulder, sneered, "Say something." He rambled on, "You're pretty fast with that lightness technique, huh? But already trembling, that's it, that's your full power." Hiren turned in terror as Juklin kept talking, "You and the rest, nothing special." She saw the two heads in his hand and screamed, Why would you do this to fellow Tang clan heirs?" Juklin replied flatly, "So what?" His words shut her down completely. She had nothing to say. He laughed arrogantly, "I never once thought of myself as part of the Tang clan of Sichuan." Hiren could only gasp, "Ah," as her head fell from her shoulders. Meanwhile, Yeomyung sprinted through the forest and suddenly noticed something. He spotted a nearby cave and thought, a cave, how convenient. He entered to scout the place out. No traces of people, perfect, no one will find me here. Since I've got nothing in the way, I'll break through to the Mirror Blossom realm right here. Sitting cross-legged, he began immediately. As the 6 physical systems evolve, reaching this stage won't have side effects. There are 2 requirements to reach Mirror Blossom: internal force to clear the Rendu meridians, and awakening. A cold energy emerged from within him. Awakening relies on past life experience. As for inner force, I'll use poison concocted by Aijun to build it up. Gritting his teeth like he was holding back a storm, his body withstood a fierce force. Everything was ready. The blocked Ren and Du meridians will be blasted open with my built-up internal force. I'll guide the toxic blue light technique through them. The resulting surge of power would be excruciating for any martial artist. Bones would break and quickly reform anew. Yeomyung's spine cracked in segments, then rapidly fused again. This was a full rebirth of the 6 physical systems. I've gone through this in my past life. Second time's not so bad. At last his eyes shone brightly. A powerful green light burst from the mouth of the cave. Sweating profusely, Yeomyung thought, it feels great to purge the dirty energy from my meridians. During body snatching, purging impurities makes your bones scream in agony. Looking at his hands, he smiled. Luckily, I completed this martial arts breakthrough smoothly. Not a bad start at all. Yeomyung stood outside the cave and muttered, let's give this a shot. He raised 2 fingers and focused his energy. Before entering the poison battle, I better test if my martial arts breakthrough holds up. Hopefully nothing too dramatic changed. But then his fingers snapped into a sharp zigzag motion, and decisively thrust forward. Boom, the cave exploded in a perfect horizontal line. Yeomyung watched the rocks fall with a grin. Yep, this Kai works wonders. Looking ahead, he nodded. Alright, guess it's go time. Cut to Tang Juklin lounging on a high branch, sword stabbed deep into the wood. He yawned. So boring. What have you been doing these past 3 years? Didn't you want to be the next clan heir or something? He asked Tang Munshin, who knelt below, bleeding everywhere. Huh, speak up. Didn't you train your guts out, and this is all you got? Munshin fumed inside. Damn it, I just entered the poison battle and ran into this guy. Even though I'm an orphan, the Great Elder raised me like his own grandson. He glared at Juklin, mocking him from above. The Great Elder's #1 disciple. Yep, that power, as terrifying as the rumors said. Munshin thought, I assumed I could beat any participant. Heck, they might not even touch me, and yet here I am, flattened by Juklin's speed and strength. Then a name popped into his head. Damn, I can't believe I'm thinking of him at a time like this. Tang Yeonmyung. I once thought not running into him would be a blessing. Am I losing my mind? Juklin noticed Munshin spacing out and asked, still smiling, hiding something, your true strength maybe. Munshin laughed out loud, nah, just thinking about one terrifying guy. Juklin narrowed his eyes menacingly, you're disappointing me. Big time. He leapt down and stood before Munshin. Guess I'll make sure you find me scarier. Let me tell you a little secret. He pointed his thumb at himself proudly. I'm actually a spy for the Black Death Alliance. Munshin was struck like lightning. What? Juklin smirked. Now that you know my little secret, why would I let you live? You're about to die, but hey, let me gift you my name anyway. Tei Silent Sword Sect Mac Identity, he said, raising his sword for the kill. But just as he swung, he suddenly froze like a popsicle. Munshin peeked out from one eye, stunned to still be alive. Juklin frowned, trying to move. What? I can't move. Footsteps approached. Yeomyung strolled up behind Juklin, closing in on the scene. I sensed a familiar aura, didn't expect it to be you. He smiled at Munshin. You're Munshin, right? Nice to see you again. How's that beating I gave you way back? Recovered yet? Munshin blinked in confusion. Who the heck are you? Flashback to a bright moonlit night at Tae Silent Sword Sect. A child's voice, Mac Identity, vowed to become a spy within Tang clan. A senior replied, yes, with your talent, even as an orphan you'll be picked up fast. Soon, the battle for airship begins, bloodline or not. Eliminate your rivals, weaken their forces. Return with the mission complete and our sect will acknowledge you. Back in the present, Mac Identity lay collapsed, eyes wide, teeth clenched in pain. My guts feel like they're on fire. He wondered, was this his doing? What the hell did he do to me? A few paces away, Moonchen asked suspiciously, you said you're Tang Yeonmyeong. That Yeonmyeong? Yeonmyeong replied, yup. Seeing the disbelief on his face, Yeonmyeong put on a scary grin. What, you want me to smash your face into the dirt again to believe me? Moonchen instantly nodded. No, you're definitely him. Yeonmyeong pointed at the guy lying on the ground and asked, he confessed to being a spy himself, right? Moonchen replied quickly, yes, he said so himself. Moonchen added, he claimed to be from Tae Silent Sword Sect. I heard it loud and clear. Yeonmyeong immediately thought of the tail that had been following him. So it was him lurking around non-movement mountain. He gently flicked his finger to recall something. A needle flew up from the guy's neck. Moonchen's eyes widened in shock. An oxhair needle, so you poisoned that thing. He asked nervously, what kind of poison works with just a tiny needle? Yeonmyeong ignored the question and fired back, haven't you seen anyone else in this competition? Moonchen nodded, yeah, I did. Yeonmyeong looked at Juklin on the ground, debating, should I detox him and interrogate him? Hearing that, Juklin sparked up murderous intent. Sure, try detoxing me and I'll take you with me to the grave. Yeonmyeong hesitated. If he's from something like the Black Death Alliance, then the motive is too obvious. Moonchen's voice suddenly chimed in again. You've changed a lot. He scratched his head and glanced at Yeonmyeong. I thought you'd hold a grudge against me, but you don't seem to. Yeonmyeong replied bluntly, if I did, you'd be lying there next to him. Moonchen nodded, touché. Then Moonchen suddenly pressed his fists together in a formal bow and lowered his head. I sincerely apologize for what I did in the past. Yeonmyeong stared, what's with the sudden apology? He waved it off, it's all in the past, no big deal. But Moonchen insisted earnestly, I'm not trying to dodge what I did. I genuinely want to say sorry to you. Yeonmyeong smiled, alright then, don't worry about it. Moonchen's eyes suddenly widened in terror. He shouted, Yeonmyeong. He barely managed to yell again from behind. Meanwhile, Yeonmyeong hadn't reacted yet, and Juklin lunged forward with his sword from behind. His eyes burned with hate. If I'm dying, you're all coming with me. His blade whooshed right in front of Yeonmyeong's face. Juklin screamed, die all of you. Moonchen's jaw dropped. Yeonmyeong. His eyes were wide with horror. Juklin couldn't believe he missed. What the? His target had vanished. He growled, I felt him there. Yeonmyeong's voice echoed behind him. I don't enjoy tricking dead men walking, but if that's your wish, then I'll erase you without a trace. Yeonmyeong placed a hand on Juklin's shoulder and blood gushed from Juklin's eyes, nose, and mouth. Yeonmyeong calmly said, you two think leaving a corpse behind is useful for investigation. Tears welled up in Juklin's eyes. As one tear rolled down, so did his life, tragic and just a little bit shady. This time, he was permanently out of the picture. Watching it all unfold, Moonchen couldn't help but marvel. Impressive, spy or not, he was strong. He analyzed further, that last technique, wasn't it the twin sword technique from the Tae Sect's headmaster? To take down someone using that fearsome move, Yeonmyeong must have really leveled up. Yeonmyeong called him back to reality. Moonchen, what now? Moonchen blinked. What do you mean, what now? Yeonmyeong explained, it's just you and me left here. How do we decide the winner? Moonchen scratched his head. If it's up to you, I surrender. Yeonmyeong sighed a bit, not like I had any say either. While Moonchen stared at the sky all dramatic-like, Yeonmyeong casually tore open space with a swipe. Thing is, I don't know how to leave this place either. A path opened up. Yeonmyeong glanced at Moonchen. You can go now. I won't be escorting you out though. Then Yeonmyeong did something so unreal that Moonchen stood there dumbfounded. Just as Moonchen turned to say thank you, Yeonmyeong tiptoed and vanished. Thanks for saving me, I guess. In just a short time, he'd uncovered quite a few unexpected things about Yeonmyeong. Finally, he processed all the chaotic info, smiled and whispered, safe travels bro. At the Tae Silent Sword Sect base, the courtyard was full of disciples lining up neatly and diligently practicing sword moves. Inside the building, someone seemed anxious. What just happened? A goo bug lay dying in his palm. These bugs sense each other's life force even from afar. If this one died, then that child must be dead too. Mak In-hoo crushed the bug in his hand. The illegitimate child born from me and a maid. He recalled training the boy in childhood, easily the most talented among his siblings. His wife had tried to kill the boy several times after learning the truth. Gritting his teeth, he said, fearing he'd snatch the inheritance, I sent him to the Tang clan as a spy just to keep him alive. As his father, I can't do anything for him now, but at least I'll avenge him. He flung the door open. This pain, I'll never forget it. He roared, all disciples, prepare to march to non-movement mountain. He ordered time to flatten the Tang clan, summon all allied sects and clans. From today on, no one bearing the Tang name will live on non-movement mountain. The moon had risen, it was oddly beautiful. Yeonmyeong sat gnawing on a chunk of meat, wondering, haven't seen anyone since morning, is this formation really that big? Holding a giant meat leg, he munched happily while zoning out. Maybe the formation was made to keep intruders out. If so, those hooray still alive must have gotten help from the Jeggle folks. He took another hearty bite. Those tough contestants wouldn't team up with the Jeggles, would they? If the Jeggles gain too much, the Tang clan surely won't let it slide. That outcome's too obvious to ignore. Arrogance and shady schemes always come with a steep price. Damn Jeggle family. Somewhere far away, Jegal Changshin shivered out of nowhere and looked around suspiciously. Yeomyung lay sprawled on the grass, gazing at the glittering night sky. He suddenly said, "What a gorgeous night sky, wish my mother could see this." His eyes slowly grew heavy. Is she still doing okay? Soon he was deep asleep, dead to the world. He was so knocked out that a shadow appeared across his face, and he didn't even notice. Someone stepped closer, peering at him from above, found him. Apparently she hadn't realized who he was yet, but, "Who is this guy?" I asked to meet the last survivor, or Yeomyung when he's weak. She doubted he was Juklin. She looked him over carefully. Well, at least he's cute. Meanwhile, our main character was still snoozing away, blissfully unaware someone was hovering over him with way too much interest. She sat down beside him, thinking about what the Jegal patriarch had told her, and if Jegal Changshin mentioned him, he must be someone legit. She popped a pill into her mouth. Shame about that handsome face, but I have no choice, he's got to go. Tang Youngryong raised her hand, 2 small tubes between her fingers releasing poisonous smoke, split-core toxin, double trouble. She drew a poison dagger, muttering, "Don't hate me. This contest ends with 1 survivor. Hopefully you're ready." Yeomyung remained still but spoke coolly. "Are you ready to die for laying a finger on me?" He raised his hand. In a blink her neck was locked in his palm. She started coughing violently. He stared straight into the eyes of his would-be assassin. Calmly he said, "So you're the one working with the Jegal clan, huh? Your plan was to stay safe while everyone else battled it out, then strike the last guy standing when his guard's down, right?" His grip tightened, making her face twist in discomfort, and he demanded, "What's your goal?" She was shocked he caught on. He knows I approached him on purpose. His hand clamped down even harder. "If you want to keep breathing, better spill everything." Under the bright moonlight, he lifted Tang Youngryong by the neck like she was a sack of turnips. "You seem to be giving up on oxygen, huh?" She cursed to herself. Damn it, if I hadn't been so startled I wouldn't have dropped my throwing knife, then glanced at the blade now lying pathetically on the ground. Taking a closer look at her face, Yeomyung blinked in surprise. "Wait, you're Tang Youngryong." She panicked, clutching the hand around her neck. "How the heck does this guy know my name?" He reminisced, "That pretty face of yours got messed up because of me, and yet your personality hasn't changed a bit, huh?" He threatened her with a casual tone. Should I finish the job and ruin that face for good this time? Somewhere in the Jegal family estate, a scream of frustration echoed. "Damn it all!" Jegal Changshin slammed both elbows on the table, burying his face. "The plan is completely wrecked." The elder strategist wiped sweat from his brow. "Because Subject 28 smashed the formation, we can't monitor the internal situation clearly. Everyone's dead except for number 2. Well, at least number 10 swiftly eliminated the competition. But as soon as he met number 28, he got flattened like a pancake." The elder wondered, if 2 and 10 are about the same level, how would a face-off go? But can number 2 even win against number 28? He stressed out, thinking how long it'd take to deal with number 10. It gave him a headache. Changshin paced nervously, biting his fingers. If number 28 wins, the whole plan is toast. What now? Suddenly he sensed something off. Outside the formation, he detected a large number of martial artists nearby. Young Yeonsong, standing next to Mak and Hu, said, "Over there is the non-movement cave, Sect Master Mak." Mak glanced sideways. "Are we overdoing it? These opponents are just Tang clan outcasts. Our own disciples combined with yours total over 200. Add in the other sects and we've got more than 300 martial artists." Mak looked toward the cave and said, "I agree, it's a bit much just for Tang clan, but since the cave belongs to the non-movement sect, it's necessary. Non-movement sect's power can't be compared to the fatting Tang clan. If our numbers were fewer, we'd be the ones losing. With this kind of force, they'll proceed cautiously. Once they realize we're not targeting them, they'll likely stay out of it." Jung Yeonsong praised, "Brilliant thinking as always. But about that spy you planted a few days ago, Sect Master Mak, how'd that go?" Mak clenched his bicep and replied, "Total failure. The kid I had high hopes for blew it." He trailed off, fury bubbling up, then barked, "Han Hyan, that's enough talking. We're moving out now." At that moment, Changshin finally recognized the person standing outside the formation. Tae Silent Sword Sect's master, Mak and Hu. Why is he there? Sweat poured down his face. No one not involved in the tournament should know the location. An inside leak, whatever it is, we need to notify the defensive squad immediately. Wait. An idea popped into his head. If we let them kill number 28, then we don't have to get our hands dirty and no one will suspect a thing. He hesitated, then made his decision. Meanwhile, inside the formation, Youngryong finally recognized the guy in front of her. Tang Yeonmyung, that damn guy was right in front of me the whole time and I didn't notice. She slowly reached behind her back. If I can just grab the fire dragon venom flask, one of the top 10 poisons. At that moment, Yeonmyung looked toward the dagger on the ground suspiciously. Is that poison on the blade? Never seen such a bright red toxin before, kinda festive actually. She clenched her teeth through the pain. He was distracted. This was her chance. She quickly pulled out the poison vial. Aiming at him, she shouted, "Dai Tang Yeonmyung." But against all her expectations, Yeonmyung swiftly grabbed the hand holding the poison. "Wow, ignoring my question and trying to stab me instead, bold but dumb." He casually snatched the vial. "What's this? Poison? Looks like the same stuff you used on the dagger. This all you got?" He lowered his hand, forcing Tang Youngryong to collapse in pain, still not planning to talk, huh? With her stubborn silence, he grabbed her jaw. "Let's relive the good old days, shall we?" he said, raising the vial. She screamed, "Let go." "Oh, finally decided to speak," he teased. "Come on, say Tilda." She panicked. "No, wait, I'll talk." He pressed the vial to her lips and whispered sweetly, "No need, I'll figure out what kind of poison it is once you taste it." Terrified, she stammered out, "Tang clan's 10 poisons." His face darkened. She added with difficulty, "It's one of them, fire dragon venom." A bead of sweat rolled down Yeonmyung's cheek. Tang clan's 10 poisons, aren't those supposed to be forbidden without approval? He stared at the tiny bottle. If this is the real deal. His eyes lit up and he drooled slightly. This could be the ultimate elixir for me. Giving it to her would have been a total waste. Tears welled up in Yeongryung's eyes. "I told you everything, let me go, I surrender. I'll help you beat the other contestants too, so please." He leaned in close, lifting her chin. "I didn't get a full answer. Are you working with the Jeggles? If yes, then tell me the full terms of your deal. If not, I'll make you drink the fire dragon venom myself." "Marriage proposal," she blurted out. They proposed a marriage alliance to unite the Jeggle and Tang clans, total mutual trust, blah blah. He thought to himself, so they're really planning to marry her off to the next heir. The Jeggle head gets to keep his power, and this girl got a marriage proposal way out of her league. Of course, she said yes in a heartbeat. Calmly, Yeonmyung raised the vial and took a sip, conflicted. What should I do with her, kill or slap? Yeongryung nearly popped her eyes out watching him casually drink deadly poison. He glanced at her. "What are you staring at? It's mine now, stop drooling." Her face turned pale. He drank the fire dragon venom. Oh heavens above. After chugging it, he sighed. Right then, his head flared up like a bonfire. Though still in Yeonmyung's grip, she laughed wildly, seeing him ignite. She sneered, "Idiot, you drank one of the Tang clan's 10 poisons yourself. Even someone with a body immune to 10,000 poisons can't handle that one." She screamed, "Burn to ashes, Tang Yeonmyung." But then she noticed something. Why was his grip still just as strong? Yeonmyung's voice yanked her back to reality, making her jump. He fanned his tongue with his hand, eyes watery, and muttered, "Phew, that was spicy as hell." Tang Yeongryung was once again struck with fear. What? No way could it be. In the Tang clan, there was a mythical realm beyond the 10,000 poison immunity body, one that could kill dozens with just a breath or a drop of blood. It was known as the Poison Human Supreme Realm. She recalled her grandfather saying it really existed, and her lips trembled. "Could you be one of them?" He didn't answer. Instead, he just casually snapped her neck. Now he let her go, his hand trembling. "Still hopping, I'll show you mercy," he asked. "I'm not the merciful type," he said, eyeing the flames blazing on his body, feeling something different from the usual poisonous green light. "Tang clan's 10 poisons, huh? If this thing has sun-like yang energy, no wonder I'm feeling roasted." He walked on. "Thanks to you, I got something great out of this." Suddenly something felt off. Above him was no longer the cool moon, but a blazing sun. Midnight and the sun's up. Who messed with the script? The ground beneath had also changed. The formation was shifting every single moment. A great wind kicked up. Did the contest end? Is the formation being lifted? He closed his eyes to sense it. Nope, something's weird, very weird. Judging by the flow of energy, about 200. No, more like over 300 elite martial artists were headed his way. Compared to the usual crowd back at the clan, this felt suspiciously excessive. There's no way the Jeggles didn't notice that many people sneaking in. He smiled and let out a breath, so they let them into the formation on purpose, huh? Trying to kill witnesses, are we? He pulled out a handful of needles, cheerfully striding forward. Snap, looks like my practice dummies just showed up, be rude not to greet them. His eyes sparkled with glee and he grinned, in this whole poison war, I'm the only one left standing. Jeggle Changshin came to meet with the patrol squad. Tang Wonjin was utterly shocked. You mean someone broke in? The elder put on a grave face. Indeed, looks like a mole spilled the beans. He asked nervously, do you know who they are? What about their numbers? The elder replied honestly, around 300 warriors led by none other than. He emphasized Manhwa, sect leader of the Timuk sword sect. A flood of questions popped into his head. Why is Timuk meddling in Tang clan affairs, and how did they even find the formation in such a deserted place? He clenched both fists. This isn't the time for talking. We need to stop them right. The elder hesitated. What I mean is. He cut straight to the point. Why are you hesitating, Elder Jeggle? The old man, sweating buckets, replied, I never wanted this to happen either. But they've already entered the ancient venom array. You know us Jeggles can't interfere with the inside of the formation. So there's nothing else we can do but rely on the contestants inside. Let's hope the remaining ones can pass this challenge. Inside the array, Manhwa had found the body of his son. So this is where you fell, my youngest. Jung Yeonsong spoke. Seems we've found the right place. Judging by the wound, it looks like something needle-like struck him. And there are barely any signs of struggle. Looks like he got one-shotted. One of them glanced at the silent figure ahead and called out, Sect Leader Mac. The man stayed quiet, lost in memories of his poor son. Because of poison, he couldn't even die like a true warrior. Enraged, he barked, everyone scour every corner, smoke out those Tang rats. The crew immediately spread out. They must have noticed the commotion and tried to flee already. If you spot anyone, report back to me immediately. Among the rats hiding in these mountains. He roared, kill every last one with the Tang surname. The sword fighters started whispering. Senior, doesn't sect leader seem a bit off today? Yeah, he's way more on edge than usual. They speculated that body earlier, maybe that guy was an undercover spy placed in the Tang clan. But wait, didn't the corpse only have a wound at the neck? Even with poison, one hit and he's dead. Another chimed in, that's the scary part about the Tang clan, they can snuff out lives just like that. One warned, if we encounter them, be extra cautious with their hidden weapons. Got it, senior, the other said, clenching his fists in excitement. Just as he said that, a needle darted straight into his neck. He staggered, eyes glazed, and collapsed with a thud to the shock of his comrades. Junior, the other gasped, stammering. He looked at the needle sticking from his brother's neck, foam at the mouth, eyes rolled back. He was gone. That's the venom demon needle. He screamed out a warning, sword in hand. The others panicked, scanning around and shouting. Where are you? Quit hiding and show yourself. Another one whimpered, senior. Don't freak out, Junior. It's not that, look up. A rain of needles poured down upon them. They were too stunned to scream. A green mist flooded the air. Their eyes widened in despair. They had no chance of resisting. No way. Moments later, the green fog faded, leaving behind bodies riddled with needles. Yeonmyeong calmly raised his hand, retrieving his flying needles. With a flick of his fingers, Yeonmyeong grinned. Deadly poison shot worked like a charm. He flicked his fingers again. Using poison on cowards like these couldn't be more fitting. The needles that pierced the enemies flew right back into his hand. He looked at the 5 needles and smiled. Thanks to my left eye of cycles, I can launch poison demon needles without breaking a sweat. Such a perfect combo, he turned to leave. Now to find the ones headed east. Somewhere else, Mak In-hoo's voice boomed. All the search teams wiped out. The messenger gasped, why yes, sir. He described no visible external injuries except a tiny needle mark. Looked like the same poison used on the first body we found. And without exception, everyone was killed the same way. Jung Yeon-sung pondered, how could this even be possible? Another guy came running. Sect leaders in both the east and west have been wiped out. Sweat rolled down Mak In-hoo's forehead. Eliminated everyone, not a single survivor, if so. Then is this all we've got left? Even Jung Yeon-sung started to panic. The hunt had gone on for nearly one watch, almost 100 men taken out in the same gruesome way. Sect leader Mak, could this whole massacre be the work of just one person? The man lowered his head and thought, if it were multiple people, things would be way messier. This clearly isn't some brat's doing, no doubt a top Tang expert is lurking nearby. He clenched his fists bitterly. Aren't we just animals being hunted at this point? He added, Yeon-sung, I'll hand command over to you. He uses such brutal methods, I'll personally sneak in and ambush him from behind. You really going to do that? Mak In-hoo choked up. I can't lose any more disciples, I leave this to you. Jung Yeon-sung's group crossed a small stream. He sensed something off, too quiet, way too quiet. The sky was dimming, he calculated. In another 1 to 2 watches, the sun would set and darkness would fall. If they couldn't find the culprit, the entire force could be wiped out. All this carnage, no results. Better retreat and preserve our strength before things get worse. He turned and declared, we pull out in 1 watch. A strange voice answered him. Who just said that? Everyone froze and looked around. Up in a tree, Yeonmyeong continued, oh, I'm not letting you leave. He stared down at the crowd below. Jung Yeon-sung panicked. When did he even get there? I didn't sense a thing. Realization hit him. Crap move, he yelled. But it was already too late. He turned around, mouth agape in terror. In the blink of an eye, every one of them dropped like flies. No time to dodge. Yeonmyeong stepped down and approached from behind. The man shouted, are you the one behind all this? His face turned pale, tension rising. How did I not notice him coming down? No more doubt, this was the guy. This was the butcher of the massacre. He's not even old. What kind of demon prodigy is this? As he hesitated, dozens of needles zipped by his body. He nearly lost it. Wait, could that be aerial telekinesis? He bit his lip, struggling to believe his eyes. No, only masters beyond the enlightened realm can do that. They faced each other, watching Yeonmyeong retrieve needles without attacking. He realized this move must cost a ton of internal energy. Giving up a sneak attack just to stand there, arrogant much. Yeonmyeong spoke, guess you didn't hear me earlier, no worries. He said coldly, the dying don't need to know my name. The guy clenched his fist, you arrogant little punk. He thrust his hand forward, if dying early is your wish. Jung Yeon-sung channeled his energy, his robe bursting open to reveal his jacked-up body. He focused hard, then fired a mighty palm strike at Yeonmyeong. Let me fulfill that wish for you. Yeonmyeong didn't even flinch. He kept that cold poker face like he wasn't impressed at all. He raised one hand to block the palm strike. The man thought, this is my full power, all of it. Yet Yeonmyeong didn't seem fazed, just smiled slightly. Don't tell me that's all you've got, I'll give you one more shot. Now give it everything you've got. Yu Giljun praised him. Not bad, you said palm strikes are your specialty. Giljun turned around while Jung Yeon-sung still bowed his head. That's right, I can. That was the first day he met the clan lord. Back then, his signature move, Wind Echo Palm, got a name change. Yu Giljun stroked his chin, Wind Echo Palm, like wind blowing from mountaintops. Meh, not a fan of the name, if it's in my hands. He pointed to the sky, shouldn't it touch the heavens? Thus, the Lord of the Black Serpent Alliance renamed it Sky Wind Palm. Back to the present, Jung Yeonsong was drenched in sweat, but the move named by the clan lord himself. How did that brat block it so easily? Yet Yeonmyung's face remained calm. It stunned the guy even with such a poker face. He casually unleashed fire dragon venom, said to contain the breath of the most ferocious fire dragon among the 10 toxins. If one could channel this venom through inner energy. Yeonmyung closed his eyes and thought, a sword filled with intent is sword will. Venom filled with will shall be called venom will. Then he opened his eyes, blazing like wildfire, revealing terrifying inner strength. A massive explosion followed. Flames erupted, terrifying Jung Yeonsong. W, what is this? This heat's cooking everything alive. He tried to counter with his heaven's heart palm, but in the end, he couldn't believe how badly he got wrecked. Engulfed in flames, all he could do was scream in pain. Then he was reduced to ashes in seconds. Yeonmyung waved his hand, and the guy crumbled into dust. So venom will packs heat too, he thought. Guess I'll call this one flame venom will. Yeonmyung glanced at the remaining crowd. So, who wants to die next? He turned fully to face them, grinning like a madman. I wasn't planning on sparing anyone anyway. Die early, suffer less. Every face now tightened like violin strings. Suddenly someone stepped forward, a man with fire in his eyes. He snarled, you killed our disciples, Leader Jang and my youngest son. He declared, whether it's Silent Mountain or anywhere else, I'll grind you into bone dust. Yeonmyung met his eyes without flinching, basically a death glare of his own. Leaves rustled as Manhwa barked to his men. Spread out and surround him. And remember, watch out for his poison and hidden weapons. Yeonmyung just glanced lazily at their clunky formation, meant to stop his needles. They focused on exhausting him, attacking from all sides like some paranoid pest control squad. Manhwa reflected painfully, too many disciples lost, and he still hadn't avenged his youngest. Drawing his sword, he shouted, their sacrifices won't be in vain, we will kill him. Yeonmyung scanned the surroundings and chuckled. This spiral formation reminds me of training days. Ah, the good all times using whirling chaos needles. He smirked, but let's try something new today, shall we? Suddenly, Yeonmyung's figure began to vanish. That brat just disappeared, they shouted. Everyone be on alert. Yeonmyung had used a new technique to slip into their formation. One guy tried to yell, but got decapitated instantly. Another one got sliced into many pieces. His sword danced through them all, cutting down waves of enemies in seconds. Blood and panic mixed in the air, eyes wide, hearts pounding. Manhwa stood in shock, unable to believe his eyes. What was that? I couldn't even see the technique. What in the world did that brat just do? One guy, possibly the squad leader, shouted, you little punk, how dare you, and charged with a slash. With a simple move, Yeonmyung raised his hand, borrowing your sword, thanks. Their blades collided and shattered into pieces. He gave a small push, sending the guy flying several meters away. The man honestly had no idea how Yeonmyung was this powerful. What kind of monster destroys swords without touching them? Yeonmyung instantly thought of break thought, a technique that shatters swords into countless fragments. The shards scatter outward, covering the field like confetti of doom, with full focus on intent. He spun the fragments around. The sword shards formed a violent whirlwind. Screams erupted. That's the Tang clan's ultimate technique. Yeonmyung stepped forward through their fear. They still couldn't believe it. He was using 10,000 flower blade rain. The storm alone wiped out every lowlife around. Anyone caught in it got minced. Honestly, they weren't even worth his effort. Watching the bloody chaos, he calmly said, still doesn't match the true power of 10,000 flower blade rain. But hey, it's nothing to scoff at either. He chuckled, maybe I should rename it to Bloodstorm Blossom. Hundreds had already died. So he decided, let's call it Bloodstorm Execution instead. He sneered, looks like all your lackeys are down. Guess it's your turn now. Manhwa gritted his teeth in fury. He unsheathed his blade, rage peaking, and roared, you damn brat, let's see how long that smug face lasts. His eyes glowed with determination. No matter how absurd Yeonmyung's strength was, he wouldn't back down. He thought, behind me stands our lord and the T-Mook sword sect. I'll turn him to ashes. Yeonmyung quipped, that's the second time you've said that. Right then Manhwa charged forward shouting, die. With dual swords and eerie energy swirling around him. Manhwa appeared before Yeonmyung, yelling, I'll crush you. Yeonmyung remained calm, raising his blade to block. Manhwa used the T-Mook sword sect's vengeance form. He slashed like mad using the death sword style. Yeonmyung blocked it with one hand like swatting flies. Heck, he even covered his mouth to stifle a yawn. Manhwa's eyes bulged, what in the actual? He quickly changed moves, switching to the ultimate T-Mook technique. One-eyed rain blade. His sword chi surged with each slash, enough to kill any regular fighter instantly. But Yeomyung just stood there, deflecting with one hand like a boss. Manhwa backed off, panting heavily. He was baffled Yeomyung hadn't budged an inch after taking his best 2 strikes. How can a single blade block my dual swords? He still couldn't believe it. I've trained my whole life in swordplay, I can read any strike. Yeomyung just stood there, smirking like a smug fox. What just happened? Manhwa broke out in cold sweat, speechless. How could you nullify the Timuk sword style like that? His pride shattered, stunned by Yeomyung's power. How did you counter my sword aura so easily? Yeomyung replied, simple. Your moves reeked of killing intent, so I just added more killing intent and sent it back. Then he added, not exactly rocket science, leaving Manhwa frozen and screaming inside. I had to master Supreme Twin Sword form just to use this aura, and this brat says it, not hard. Suddenly Yeomyung said, oh right, that spy I killed a few hours ago also used this technique. So you're from the Supreme Dark Sword sect too? That shook him. Yeomyung added, I don't know much about your sect, but I heard it serves under the Black Death Alliance. Their leader's a genius, turns any martial technique into top-tier stuff tailored to the user's body. That's why lately both righteous and demonic cultivators have some connection to the Black Death Alliance. Manhwa gasped, what are you implying? Yeomyung bluntly replied that I'm disappointed, deeply. He continued, anyone could counter that sword move with a bit of killing intent control. He mocked, judging by how the Alliance Lord taught you, looks like he didn't expect much from you, huh? That hit Manhwa's pride like a hammer. Enraged, he roared, Yeomyung drew his blade with contempt. Relax, you've tried your best, now let me show you a little trick to upgrade that lame technique of yours. He held up his sword, don't freak out just cause it looks fancy. Manhwa stammered, a perfected trick. He nervously wondered what Yeomyung was up to, and widened his eyes in shock. Yeomyung channeled his inner energy so strongly that the surroundings started reacting to it. He explained to Manhwa, for those who have reached the peak of martial mastery, the length of the blade becomes irrelevant. Then Yeomyung stretched his saber with pure energy. Manhwa could only gawk at the insane display of power, utterly stunned. And then Yeomyung slashed once. The move was called Sword Intent, but at first nothing seemed to happen, prompting Manhwa to scoff. Suddenly, a deep gash appeared behind him. It brushed past his ear and extended hundreds of meters, stunning him into silence. What the hell, that hill behind me, it's been sliced in half. And this guy said that's just his current strength. Yeomyung gazed at his saber, muttering, still kinda weak, this isn't my original body after all, but I'll get there. Manhwa gritted his teeth. Impossible. Manhwa now looked at Yeomyung differently. That sword intent was on another level, far beyond regular swordsmanship. He handled those moves like a breeze and even showed a level of sword intent I've never seen before. Manhwa stammered, you've reached enlightenment realm. Yeomyung's eyes turned cold. Does that even matter? The moment he threw that question back, Manhwa wasted 0 seconds bolting away. Run, I'm no match for that freak. Seeing him run for his life, Yeomyung sighed, how pitiful. People who try to flee from me usually end up in pieces. Yeomyung drew his saber again, preparing to slice. Give up already. But then he paused. Ah wait, I was born a Tang, remember. He pulled out a pile of hidden weapons and grinned wickedly. A proper finish should have the Tang clan's style, right? Meanwhile, Manhwa was sprinting deep into the forest, using every ounce of footwork he had. He still couldn't believe it. How could the Tang clan raise a monster like that? An enlightened master showing up in a declining clan. If the Alliance Lord hears about this, he's not gonna stay calm. Suddenly, trees behind him began falling cleanly in half. What though, he gasped. Tiny hidden weapons slicing through trees like nothing, and they're chasing me. Everywhere the projectiles flew, trees dropped like dominoes. Manhwa desperately fought back against the incoming storm of darts. They're too fast. He swung wildly, knocking down some of the weapons. I can't escape until I deal with these damn things. But they just kept coming, relentless and vicious. He screamed, come at me already, you coward. He yelled like a maniac while slashing at the deadly darts. Am I really gonna die in a place like this? One dart struck his sword mid-swing while he was using sword aura. He cursed, damn it. Another blade slashed across his face and leg. Then another one flew in. This time it severed his left arm. A final hidden weapon was aimed straight at his head. Not that easy, Manhwa roared, mustering his last strength to deflect it, though the pain was unbearable. Gasping, he shouted, that's it, I've dealt with all of them. Such dirty tricks, he bellowed confidently, though missing an arm and bleeding everywhere. You really thought you could kill me? Manhwa stared at his severed arm, thinking, even if I lost a limb, I'm still alive. I can plan my revenge later. He optimistically assumed Yeomyung must have drained his energy using that dark bloom blade storm just now. At this rate, I might just escape. Yeomyung walked toward him step by step. Not bad. You deserve at least a small compliment. Mak In-hoo froze. Even after unleashing such a dirty, vicious move, this guy didn't even look tired. The hidden weapons still lay scattered across the ground. Suddenly, they began to move again. One by one, they twitched to life. Surprise after surprise, Mak In-hoo was terrified. What the hell? The fallen projectiles started flying again, hurling straight at Mak In-hoo. No one could save him now. His body was pierced and diced into chunks. Even as he died, he couldn't comprehend. What is this freak? He had once been a Wudang disciple, left everything to join the Black Death Alliance and rose to lead a dark sect. And yet, he couldn't even scratch a single hair on Yeomyung. What kind of monster did I just face? As his head hit the ground, all the hidden weapons returned to Yeomyung. He calmly said, looks like it's over. From a lush forest, he turned the place into a graveyard. And he simply remarked, just testing out the power of that technique. Turned out pretty decent. If I become the young master, I'll split the Tang Guard in two, one unit for poison, one for hidden weapons, and train them in these arts. Yeomyung exhaled and looked up at the sky. Guess it's time to leave. In his heart, though, he knew there were still many things to settle within the clan. He activated his power to return. In his mind, he replayed the faces of everyone he would take revenge on, those elders who tormented his mother, and the Jegal clan who conspired with Tang Yeongryong to swallow the Tang clan whole. I'll repay your kindness, he thought, double no tenfold. He opened a spatial gate to return. Meanwhile, chaos was unfolding outside. Jegal Changshin said apologetically, due to fairness, no one was allowed to interfere with the array. I never expected things to unfold like this. Everyone was stunned by his words. Dongthan exclaimed, how could that be? Outwardly apologetic, the elder's true thoughts were far from it. Of course, it was all a farce. Gotta stay quiet until the job is done, he thought. After the dark sects entered the array, they sealed the entrance entirely. The elder sighed, thinking, no way anyone survives that hellhole. All Tang clan could do was suppress the remaining dark sect guards outside the array. After questioning, they identified who was inside. Members of the Supreme Dark Sword sect, Mak In-hoo, and Thunderquake leader Jung Yeonsong. Over 300 martial artists are in there. Not even that freak, contestant number 28, could survive that. Too bad he had talent, but he messed with the Jegal clan's plans. The candidates in the poison array are also the future of the Tang clan. Still, the elder's expression suddenly turned pale. He slowly looked up and whispered, what is that? That familiar look of pure shock hit him. He instinctively turned around to look, and locked eyes with Yeomyung's razor-sharp stare. The crowd erupted. It's Yeomyung. Look, it's really him. He didn't go down that easy. Tang Yori threw herself into his arms, laughing through happy tears. His teammates rushed over. You okay? He replied. Told you already, right? Until this contest ends, you're the only ones allowed to punch me in the face. The elder's jaw dropped. Number 28. Who is this guy really? Yeomyung chatted casually with the others, smiling. From afar, Changshin watched and thought, what the heck did those dark sect goons even do? And Mak In-hoo and Jung Yeonsong seriously couldn't handle one brat. Sensing someone watching him, Yeomyung turned his head. His eyes gleamed like twin daggers. Seeing Yeomyung's gaze, the elder quickly raised a fan to hide his face. Then from nowhere, Tang Munchin popped his head out. He raised a hand and waved at Yeomyung. Yeomyung also turned back and smiled. Changshin kept pondering, unable to believe what he was seeing. Even back then and now too, the moment Yeomyung and his crew stared at him, it stuck in his mind. Yet the elder kept thinking, how the heck did that kid slash through the Seven Seal Mirage array? That formation was the ultimate of the clan, layered like a prison tower, capable of trapping even Enlightenment-level masters. He glanced at Yeomyung. Could his cultivation really be? Right in the middle of his judging thoughts, Yeomyung shot him a sharp glare, making him pale and fake a calm face. Yeomyung held back his fury, even though he really wanted to slap that geezer into next week. But until he became young master, he couldn't slip up on little things like this. Just then, Tang Wonjin appeared and looked at him. Number 28, no, Tang Yeomyung, you've returned safely. Yeomyung cupped his fists, apologies for making you worry. As Tang Wonjin spoke, Yeomyung thought, let's start with cleaning up the elders within the clan. Tang Wonjin opened his arms and loudly said, good thing you're safe, but what happened in there? His eyes narrowed, and what about the others? Suddenly the space around them trembled violently. Panic broke out. What the an earthquake? Someone screamed, look over there, there's a crack. A massive fissure appeared in the mountain, light spilling through the gaps. Changshin's head spun. All the formations, including the Seven Seal Mirage array, had been completely destroyed. The array exploded, radiating blinding light. Shards flew out, reflecting the shocked expressions of the crowd. What is this? Is something inside the shards? Tang Wonjin muttered, unable to form full words. Are these scenes what happened inside the array? Among the countless fragments appeared the terrifying faces of familiar people. Changshin shivered. Yeomyung said coldly, "As you can see, master, that's what happened." A fierce gust swept through the area. Countless people collapsed. Someone said their clothes are different, but most wore the Supreme Dark Sword Sect's uniform. So Mak In-hoo really did bring them to Silent Mountain. Tang Wenjin thought, so this kid actually defeated that many people by himself? Ridiculous. I can't even handle 30 of them alone. Suddenly someone yelled, "Captain, over there." A blood-soaked figure lay there with all too familiar features. 2 swords on his back. From the look of it, it was definitely Mak In-hoo. Changshin clutched his ears in shock. Tang Wenjin cried out, even Mak In-hoo couldn't beat him. Yeomyung interjected, they were just a large group, not exactly hard to deal with. Sweat ran down his face as he glanced at Yeomyung. Tang Yeomyung, this kid. He's already beyond the role of young master. One guy asked another, hundreds of people, and he soloed them all. The other replied, and if they're from Supreme Dark Sword Sect, that's a big-name demonic faction in Sichuan. The chatter continued, this is beyond any normal successor level. That guy is the young master already. Murieo pulled on Yori's pigtails. What are you so smug about, huh? From afar, Tang Jiangle gritted his teeth. That damn punk. He touched his injured arm. He ruins someone's arm and turns into a powerhouse while we rot. His eyes were filled with hatred. Tang Yeomyo. A useless loser who once couldn't even train and got beat up every day. That guy. And now he dares, but a loud shout snapped him back. The competition is over. Tang Wenjin declared the final winner is contestant number 28, Tang Yeomyo. If anyone wants to dispute the result, step forward now. Tang Jiangle tried moving his fingers. He gritted his teeth and clutched his injury. What the hell can I even do now? Seeing no one step up, Tang Wenjin asked again. No objections, right? If there are no objections, then everything has been handled fairly. Although there were some unexpected events, they were kept under control. From now on, I declare the tournament officially over. The patrol squad immediately gathered in front of Tang Yeomyo, the winner of the competition. Yeomyung's followers were stunned. So many elite guards feels like standing under a falling mountain. Tang Wenjin thought to himself, after decades of decline, the Tang clan finally, he spoke aloud. We, the patrol squad, hereby recognize Tang Yeomyung, the final victor of the tournament, as the new young master who will lead our clan to rise again in Sichuan. Then he kneeled. All 82 members of the patrol squad, excluding Tang Wenjin, bowed before the new young master of the Tang clan of Sichuan. The patrol squad shouted in unison, "We pay our respects to the young master." Murieo whispered, he just became young master, and already the treatment's completely different. She added, so, do we have to treat Yeomyung with respect now? Yori blinked, I have no idea. Tang Wenjin still pondered deeply. To be this strong before turning 20, if he matures, he could surpass all of Sichuan, even the demonic factions that rule it, and reclaim the honor of our once great family. Then, a strong voice broke his thoughts. I know what you all want, Yeomyung said clearly. It won't take long, trust and believe in me. The patrol squad's eyes widened. He said exactly what they were thinking. That promise cemented his place in their hearts. This man is the true young master of the Tang clan. They all shouted, we will follow the young master, victor of the tournament. Yeomyung now looked the part. Time to head back to the clan. Everyone stood and prepared to depart. From behind, Tang Jiangle still couldn't accept it. Why is it always you? Why do you get everything? I swear I'll get revenge, even if I have to sell my soul to the devil. His face twisted with madness and hatred. Night fell. Corpses still lay scattered across the ground. Footsteps approached. Whom so they've all left? It was someone from Silent Sect, Tihyo. He glanced at the corpses, having rushed over after getting the report. A voice called, Uncle Master. Why did you come alone? Hyunso moved up behind him. Now that you've reached Enlightenment Realm, you should act like it. The old man scratched his cheek. So you felt nothing? Come on, Hyunso, seriously, he replied. Quit dodging, Uncle Master. I mean, who could sleep peacefully surrounded by this many corpses? Even a disciple would have picked another spot. But deep inside he thought, over 300 people all wiped out. That's insane. This clan was once called the strongest in Sichuan for a reason. And I know Tang clan only had less than 100 here at Silent Mountain. Tihyo added, this is strange. Silent Mountain is our territory. If something like this happened, they should have at least informed us. Hyunso replied, are you saying they intentionally avoided us while carrying out this massacre? We're not even a demonic sect. There was no reason to avoid us. Plus, they even paid the Tang clan to rent this mountain for the poison trial. What are they hiding? Hyunso asked. The elder said no idea, but who knew the Tang's hidden weapon arts were this deadly? One guy and so many dead. He stroked his chin, impressed. Yes, it's quite something, solo killer and all. Something didn't add up. Wait, did you say one guy? You're telling me all these bodies were taken down by one person? The old man nodded. You can't fool these enlightened realm eyes. Most of them were struck by the same type of needle-shaped weapon. No projectiles left behind, so he probably mastered free release and retrieval. Hyunso's eyes bulged as he looked at those who hadn't even unsheathed their weapons. They were all killed instantly. How many people even exist at that level? The elder chuckled dryly. I must meet this guy, heading to Sichuan it is. Hyunso raised his arms, and if we run into the Black Death Alliance. Taehyo proudly replied, did you forget your uncle master has reached enlightenment realm? You think someone like me who's reached the enlightened realm would struggle to escape alone? Don't worry. The elder's words left him flustered. Master, that's not what I meant. The elder continued, you think that Liu Brat would pick a fight with me for no reason? He waved frantically. Haha, who did Master inherit that stubbornness from? Seriously. Let's head back to our sect first. Shouldn't we report to the sect leader? The elder grinned. Fine, let's go back. At present, the Black Death Alliance is to the south of Kongdong, the Demon Sect is to the west. Our sect is basically friendless in this martial world party. Hyunso thought Master probably wants to find the Tang clan expert who caused this mess and measure his martial might. Honestly, the Tang clan's situation is no better than ours. He looked up to the sky, guessing Master's planning to use the Tang clan to clash with the Black Death Alliance. A bold move or just another gamble. He got into stance, unsure whether things would unfold as his master envisioned. Hopefully, it won't come to unsheathing the demon-slaying sword technique again. In front of Tang Xiaozheng's chamber, the elder was writing something when a voice rang out. Third elder, the Fong guard has returned with the contestants. Hearing that, he put the brush back in the ink jar thinking, it ended sooner than expected. Well, with Youngryong's skills plus the fire dragon toxin, one of the top 10 poisons, winning wouldn't be difficult. The person outside spoke again, but sir, the young lady isn't among those who returned. The elder roared, what did you just say? Two guards outside began chatting. Who do you think won? That top disciple of Tang Juklin seems promising. The other replied, there's also the niece of the third elder. Heard she trained like a beast after her face got ruined. Honestly, anyone who comes back in one piece is lucky. Before they could finish gossiping, Yeomyung's squad returned. Whoa, that's them. The boy returned radiating heroic vibes like he just stepped out of a legend. They exclaimed when they saw Tang Wonjin in Tang clan martial robes. Wait a sec, isn't that the Fong guard too? Then came a loud announcement. The contestants have returned from the competition. Everyone murmured in surprise. The competition's over already. Has it been years? Time really flies, so who's the winner? And who's that young man? Never seen him before. They stared blankly at Yeomyung, the ladies, blushing harder than steamed crabs. A man burst out from the crowd, face full of pain. Soi, my little Soi. Tears welled up in his eyes. Where are you, Soi? A voice echoed somewhere. Thank goodness, I heard some of them died. Then the chatter shifted to Munchin. That's young Master Munchin, right? He looks sharp, but let's not hope too much, someone muttered. Everyone lined up respectfully, though whispers still flew. There's Myung-hoon, Soyang, thank heavens you're okay. The remaining parents, still unable to find their children, silently wept. Where, Hyulin and my Myungso? Those painful voices reached Yeonmyung's ears. He glanced over, probably the parents of kids who didn't survive. Then he thought of his mother, she's likely worried sick. Then imagined her not recognizing him when he returned. What if she doesn't know me anymore? That dazed face of his, comedy gold. While lost in thought, Yuri shouted, Yeonmyung, over there. The general manager is here. See the guy with glasses? That's my dad. He spotted her and let out a breath of relief. My Yuri's safe, thank goodness. Yeonmyung glanced at her with a smirk. Wow, already trying to get me to look after your dad. She grinned playfully. Duh, if you catch a golden rope, you better grab tight. He laughed loudly. She sighed. Kidding aside, my dad's actually capable. He just never used connections. That's why he hasn't moved up in the clan. That's why he's stuck doing logistics stuff. Yeonmyung thought, honestly, doesn't seem bad at all. Those tied to the elders might block me once I get real power. I better start building my own faction. I also need to figure out more about Murieo and Ijun. Ijun's linked to the Medicine King Hall. As for Murieo, him. Someone interrupted his thoughts. Everyone has worked hard, Fong Guard and Jegal clan alike. I'm Tang Kisum, general manager of the Tang clan. Changshin clasped his hands in greeting. Long time no see, General Manager Tang. You're still the same, I see. The old man laughed loudly. I'll never forget how much the Jegal clan supported us. Changshin replied, we just helped as much as we could. The old man laughed again, slapped Changshin's shoulder. Thanks to the Jegal clan's grand formation, the the 7 illusions binding array, we could rest easy letting the juniors join the contest. Changshin forced a smile. Right, Yeomyung silently judged. So the guy's already cracked, Tang Kisum continued. The elders are waiting, so let's head to the Elder Council. Fong Guard, dismissed for rest. You've been working your butts off for years. You must be exhausted. Tang Wenjin looked like he wanted to say sorry, but we're not going to the Elder Council. The 2 elders shot him a glare sharp enough to slice iron. Tang Wenjin calmly introduced, I'm Tang Wenjin, currently acting captain of the Fong Guard. Kisum's glare said, I'm gonna eat you alive. Did I mishear? Did you just say you're not going to the Elder Council? As far as I know, Wenjin replied, the department in charge of the competition is the Dark Poison Hall. That's the correct protocol, is it not? That line made Kisum grind his teeth like a sawmill. You said what now? A mere squad captain dares talk protocol to me, the general manager. Disband immediately, or I'll punish you for insubordination. Everyone gasped at the old man's rage. He looked ready to explode. Wenjin didn't respond, just thought to himself, so disobeying means we can't challenge an elder. I knew it'd be tough, but this fast. Yeomyung stepped forward. Insubordination? Is there someone in this clan whose authority overrides that of the young master? Kisum's veins popped. And who the hell are you supposed to be? Yeomyung smirked. I'm the tournament winner, the young master. The sentence froze Kisum like a bad software update. Tang Yeomyung, the boy added. An hour later, shouting echoed from a room. What the hell did you just say? Did I mishear? General manager, who's the winner again? Kisum stammered. As I said, the winner of the young master tournament is Tang Yeomyung. Tang Xiaocheng slammed the table. No way in hell. That brat beat Youngryong. Even the fire dragon toxins dried up. How'd he win without it? The first elder chimed in. Wait, are you saying even Juklin, my disciple, was defeated by this Tang Yeomyung brat? He pondered silently. That kid had both talent and determination. I thought he'd be the next young master, no doubt about it. When I saw that Yeomyung kid before the tournament, there was no way he'd surpass Juklin. Could he really catch up in 3 years? No way, he must have cheated somehow. Second elder Tang Myongshin spoke up. We agreed to move on from the poison trial incident, but don't we need to uncover the truth? Fourth elder Tang Juryong joined in. Agreed. Phoenix's son's kid beat all the other promising candidates and won. The first elder added, if we all press the issue, they won't be able to dodge answers. Where is Tang Yeomyung, general manager? Didn't you tell him to report to the elder council already? Kisum trembled. Well, he recalled Yeomyung's words, only the clan leader can order the young master. Even if that position's empty, the elder council can't override it. So are we still accusing him of insubordination? Kisum snapped, fearless. You're not officially recognized as young master yet. He thought Phoenix's son's brat. Why's he the winner anyway? Yeomyung also reflected, if someone the elders hate becomes young master, my position could be at risk. Kisum shouted, if you upset the elders. Yeomyung's eyes gleamed. Enough. Kisum's legs wobbled like jelly. His mouth stiffened, stunned by the pressure Yeomyung exuded. What is this power? This internal energy is ridiculous. If I piss him off, I'm done for. Kisum was sweating buckets. Yeomyung declared, who cares about the mood of a bunch of fat old men? We're going to the Dark Poison Hall, as protocol demands. Pass the message, the tournament is over. And so is your era. Kisum was now shaking like a leaf. He said the elders have to come to him. Seokjung asked sternly. He actually said that. Kisum recalled Yeomyung's line, tell them their time is up. Then he repeated it, voice trembling. That's what he said, thinking, I can't believe I just said that out loud. Seokjung slammed the table again, voice booming, that brat dares. He shattered both tables in rage. Phoenix's son's kid dares defy us. After a moment, he calmed down. Fine, he's not officially recognized as young master yet. That arrogance could cost him everything. Seokjung gave orders to 5th elder Tang Juryong and Tang Myongshin, go to the Dark Poison Hall, see what that boy's really planning. The elder frowned and shouted, let's see what kind of guts he has to pull this off. With that, he barked an order to the men outside. Prepare to move to the Dark Poison Hall. One group under the 1st elder Heavenly Dragon Division, another under the 2nd elder Dark Fortress Division. Next is the 4th Elder's Group, Heavenly Perception Division. And finally, the 5th Elder's Unit, Shadow Black Division. Tang Xiaokjung ordered, follow the elders closely. Then he called out loudly, Fa Long, chief of the division. The man responded, yes, elder. Tang Xiaokjung added, Fa Long will lead the way. He instantly replied, understood. The elder warned, for that arrogant brat who dares defy elder authority, will teach him a lesson. Fuming, he roared, who is the real master of the Tang clan? Inside the Dark Poison Hall, a voice suddenly echoed, what's going on? Tang Jiaqui, the Dark King, blurted out, you really won and became the young master. Yeonmyung replied with a calm smile, yes, that's right. Jiakwi looked him over and thought, ever since he was little I sensed something off. Now, his aura is on another level. He let out a light sigh, big sister would be thrilled to see this. Suddenly, a man appeared next to Jiakwi. He gritted his teeth, eyes wide, staring at Yeonmyung. He muttered, you. That man was Tang Jahyok, the Poison King, father of Tang Jeongal. Did you really win? He asked, still in disbelief. Yeonmyung recalled the past, how Jahyok once told him, you really think you can win, if you're lucky enough not to die. You'll still pay for crippling Jeongal, my son. When the tournament ends, I'll take it out on you and your mother. Might not even take 4 years, he had shouted back then. Yeonmyung calmly repeated those old words now, making Jahyok flinch. Approaching him with icy eyes, Yeonmyung said, just like you said, it didn't even take 4 years. Time to show me and my mother what that price looks like. He warned, from now on, watch your mouth when you speak in the Tang clan, or else your son's remaining arm might not be of much use either. Watching this unfold, Jiakwi thought, so this was a preemptive strike. Outside, someone was silently observing the dark poison hall. It was Tang Wonjin. He recalled the past, you're Tang Yeonmyung. Kisum had trembled and stuttered, you're Phoenix's son's child. Wonjin, standing nearby, looked toward Yeonmyung. He thought silently, Phoenix's son. Suddenly, Yeonmyung turned to him as if reading his thoughts and said, you want to ask, right? Wait until this all ends, then it won't be too late to ask. Flashback over, Wonjin pondered, was he really that person's child? If so, then that bloody battle with the Heaven's Brilliance Lord, he must have targeted her former master, Phoenix's son. The Tang clan warriors fought fiercely, like legends out of a book. As the battle raged on, everything, including the dark poison hall, was engulfed in flames. Wonjin and his allies looked to the side. They saw a mysterious figure clutching someone's head. They gasped, it's not over, they're over there. That's the head of the clan leader, they shouted in unison, calling for the clan head. The mysterious figure calmly said, the Tang clan's resistance was stronger than expected. Then he gave his order, advance. The enemy troops charged in blindly, slicing everything in their path, not caring even if it meant their own death. We had begged the elders for help in facing Heaven's Brilliance Lord's invasion, and Tang Seokjung replied coldly, if even we die, then the Tang clan is doomed anyway. They refused to help. Had they at least sent their own men, the losses could have been reduced. But no, they dumped all the blame on Lady Phoenix's son after the battle ended. Back then, Tang Seokjung and the elders harshly scolded her. You've brought disgrace to the Tang clan. If only you had accepted him, none of this would have happened. Wonjin thought, I couldn't defend her. Even though it burned inside me, she was ousted from leadership just to protect the child in her womb. He reminded his comrades, you all know who the current master of the Tang clan is now. Those who failed their duties that day, consider this your lucky chance to redeem yourselves. Tang Wonjin was mid-sentence when a sharp voice suddenly echoed from afar. Hearing it, Wonjin was visibly shaken, like someone just unplugged his brain. Tang Jiakwi and Yeonmyung inside also heard it. Jiakwi frowned, that voice. Yeonmyung cut in, let's just go outside and find out. Outside the dark poison hall, Tang Seokjung fumed and barked at the guard squad, you guys dare disobey orders from the elders. He turned to Wonjin and growled, where, Tang Yeonmyung, that brats? Wonjin thought, just as young master predicted, all the elders brought their armies here. Even their personal enforcers got mobilized, now that's a full parade. They must really feel threatened about losing their spots. Tang Seokjung screamed again, are you deaf? Hand over Tang Yeonmyung. I'm right here, came the calm reply. Right on cue, Yeonmyung and Jiakwi stepped out. Seokjung shouted, you. The clan leader's position, you think you're worthy to lead the Tang clan, not on my watch. Yeonmyung stepped down slowly, calmly replying, I proved myself by winning the tournament. Everything was done fairly in secret, as per the Dark Poison Hall's rules. What more do you want? He asked curiously, unintentionally lighting Seokjung's fuse. The old man roared, you. Even Tang Juryong and Tang Myongshin joined in. You disrespectful brat, how dare you talk to elders like that? Wonjin came close to Yeonmyung and whispered, young master. Seokjung screamed, if you want to live, spill everything about what happened during the Venom trial. Yeonmyung calmly explained, it was conducted in secret. That's how the rules were written. He added, or are you suggesting I cheated my way to victory? Seokjung instantly blew up. I heard all about it on my way here. There was interference. Makinhu and 300 sword freaks from the Grand Eye Sword sect showed up. How's that fair? Yeonmyung sighed like a disappointed dad. Tang Juklin and Tang Youngryong killed other contestants. I killed them both and ended the trial. Seokjung cut in sharply, what did you just say? His eyes burned with fury. Who did you say you killed? Yeonmyung replied, if you don't believe me, go to Mount Motionless to check. If they didn't clean up the bodies, you'll still find them there. Seokjung roared, you punk. No more words. He charged, pouring all his power into his fists. At Yeomyeong, Jiakui, and Wenjin both watched in horror. Like a meteor, Seokjung's path mowed down half the courtyard. He yelled, "Kid, you brought this on yourself." But then everyone present gasped. Even Seokjung was stunned. Yeomyeong's calm voice broke the silence, hard to accept. He caught Seokjung's devastating blow with just one hand, like swatting a fly. Yeomyeong tightened his grip. "Your granddaughter is already dead." Seokjung panicked inside. "No way," he blocked my ghost venom death palm. That technique could blind and deafen instantly, but why was he still standing? The old man stared at Yeomyeong with growing doubt. Could he be stronger than me? Has he trained for decades like I did? He clenched his teeth. "Impossible," he hissed. Then he channeled his energy again, roaring, "You dare make this elder a laughingstock." Suddenly, Yeomyeong pulled out a red vial from his sleeve. He held it right in front of Seokjung's attacking hand. Seeing the red liquid, Seokjung gasped in panic. "That's..." He stammered, "How could you possibly have that?" Yeomyeong raised an eyebrow. "Well, you recognize this, don't you? You look like you've just seen your taxes." Then he casually dropped the red vial from his hand. "The very poison you handed your granddaughter, now in my hands." The vial smacked the ground, snapped in two, and sparked a flame that bloomed into an inferno within seconds. Yeomyeong added coolly, "If it were just some random toxin, I might let it slide. But..." He suddenly appeared behind Seokjung. "But the 10 poisons of the Tang clan, that's a different beast." Everyone nearby stared in confusion. Tang clan's 10 poisons. Wonjin approached and asked, "Young master, are you saying that vial?" Yeomyeong nodded. "Correct, that was Fire Dragon Lake poison." Wonjin and his crew gasped. "Fire Dragon Lake poison. No wonder I felt like my eyebrows were being barbecued," one of them cried. "But wasn't the third elder in charge of that stuff?" Yeomyeong's voice turned icy. "Tell me, guard squad, has the Tang clan's 10 poisons become so cheap you can just gift them like party favors?" Wonjin answered quickly, "Absolutely not. Even the top-tier martial masters of Tang clan can barely look at those poisons. The recipe's lost, and the remaining stock is rarer than a dragon's molar. In Tang clan, the 10 poisons are more treasured than any other artifact, and anyone caught abusing them for personal gain gets the death penalty." At this, Tang Juryong and Tang Myongshin both screamed, "What? You dare talk about executing an elder of Tang clan? You lost your mind." Yeomyeong just smiled darkly. "Oh, that's your defense." Seokjung now looked more like a scared old man than an elder. Yeomyeong said, "So you're not above clan law after all, huh?" He continued, "At least now you can go join your granddaughter in the afterlife, bring flowers." And just like that, the old man disintegrated in flame, while everyone watched like a live-action fireworks show. Yeomyeong looked around, "And the rest of you? You rotten old elders of Tang clan. What right do you have to judge me? I alone decide my place in this clan." Wonjin thought, "Oh no, this guy's completely unhinged. Who dares talk like that in front of the elders? Tang clan might never be the same again." Seokjung muttered angrily, "You dare?" Then yelled, "What are you waiting for? He killed an elder, arrest him." His men jumped from fright. Yeomyeong suddenly asked, "Elder Tang Seokjung, are you even aware your disciples been wrecking this clan?" The old man stammered, "What nonsense are you talking about?" But Yeomyeong snapped, "You seriously don't know? He's a spy for the Dark Sword sect." Then Yeomyeong elaborated, "I saw their people sneaking into the Venom trial grounds." Seokjung still resisted. "Are you saying Juklin was involved? You got proof?" Yeomyeong calmly said, "Relax, I brought receipts." When Seokjung saw Munchin standing nearby, he gasped, You're the vice steward's kid, right?" "Why are you here?" Munchin answered. "I'm the only witness who can prove your disciple's a mole." Then he pulled off his shirt like a K-drama lead, and all eyes turned toward him. "These scars got M fighting Tang Juklin before I met Yeomyeong during the Venom trial. They weren't caused by poison or hidden weapons, these were blade wounds. He used some weird sword style, I didn't recognize it at the time. But now I think it was twin sword dance." Seokjung shouted, "That's just speculation." Suddenly Tang Juryong spoke up, "It's not. Elder, I saw Makinhu use that sword technique once. The bodies of his victims, sliced like sashimi, just like Munchin's scars." Munchin nodded, "Right, before he tried to kill me, he even said he was a spy. He called himself Mac Identity." A buzz spread through the crowd. "Mac Identity, isn't that the bastard son Makinhu abandoned, the one born from a servant girl?" Yeomyeong approached Munchin. "I was going to ask you to testify, but wow, you beat me to it." Munchin smiled, "I owe you my life, Yeomyeong." Yeomyeong nodded, "Thanks, you've cleared everything up." Seokjung began to panic internally. Could Juklin really be a spy? That doesn't even matter anymore. If this keeps going, I'm gonna be next. He suddenly roared, "Elite unit, arrest him now." "And what about the Ba Long squad, huh? You guys not planning to avenge the third elder or just enjoying the view?" The old man got increasingly annoyed, yelling, "Stop staring at each other like confused chickens. Yeomyung stepped forward, his voice icy. Don't be rash, you gonna pretend you didn't know anything, your sins aren't light. If Tang Juklin had become young master and the Tang clan fell into the hands of the Dark Sword sect, you expect anyone to believe you knew nothing. What a nice clean slate plan, not happening, face your punishment. Seokjung suddenly shouted, young master wait. But his aged arm had already hit the ground. With just one slash, Seokjung had lost an entire arm like slicing tofu. He stared in horror at his hand, lying pitifully on the ground, then collapsed to his knees, clutching his stump with his remaining hand. Yeomyung warned, Elder, you are guilty of harboring a traitor. I was going to destroy your danshin and cripple your martial arts. But since there's no evidence of direct contact with Dark Sword sect, I'll stop here. Seokjung trembled. Thank you, young master, you're very generous. He frowned inwardly, his attack speed is insane. I couldn't even see the strike. This brat's swordsmanship is terrifying. But he doesn't know I've released my invisible poison into the air. Ha. The first poison of Tang clan's 10 poisons, invisible poison, is colorless, odorless, tasteless. Victims don't even know they're poisoned until symptoms hit like a brick. It's a bit weaker than the original, sure. But I've spent half my life brewing my own version. No matter his level, he won't survive this poison cloud. But Yeomyung's face remained strangely calm, like he was waiting for tea. Meanwhile, Seokjung grinned slyly. You won't even know what killed you, fool. Right then, Seokjung activated his poison on Yeomyung. Yeomyung seemed to sense it. He frowned immediately. He yelled, you talk too much, old man. It startled Seokjung. Wait, what? He thought, eyes widening, but before he could process, Yeomyung sliced off Seokjung's other hand. The fifth elder cried out, what's he doing now? Didn't he just promise to go easy? How can someone who breaks his word be the young master of Tang clan? Tang Myongshin muttered in disbelief. Wait, even the fifth elder is freaking out. What is that? At that moment, Seokjung's severed hand turned to jelly, making everyone murmur, that's the Grand Elder's hand. What's leaking out next to it? Is that poison? Yeomyung marched up, declaring loudly, your Grand Elder here tried to sneak in poison while pretending to stop bleeding. He shouted angrily, what a shameless move. Seokjung panicked and begged, why, young master, please no. Yeomyung powered up his hand and declared, Grand Elder Tang Seokjung, you are guilty of attempting to assassinate the young master. This is considered treason and punishable by death. As he spoke, Yeomyung swung his arm in a clean arc. So clean, in fact, that Seokjung's head rolled down gently like a dropped melon. And just like that, Seokjung was executed on the spot by Yeomyung. His body lay motionless on the ground, witnessed by everyone present. Yeomyung then turned to the rest of the elders, laying down the law. There are laws of the land and laws of the clan. Break them again and I'll punish personally. Tang clan is on the edge of ruin. I must turn the tide, but one thing I can promise. No Tang clan member will face threats from demonic sects again. I will ensure peace in Sichuan for all of us. What do you say? I'm asking you, everyone here, not the elders, do you acknowledge me as young master? Meanwhile, at Tang Jihai's residence, a voice shouted, wait, what? Tang Jihai gasped to her servant, calm down, speak clearly, Yeomyung actually. She asked again to confirm, he really won that battle. The old maid beamed, not just that. He judged the elders, made promises for the clan's future. I'll never forget that emotional moment. Everyone present at the Dark Venom Hall, even Jiakui and Wonjin, dropped to their knees with the others. All acknowledged Yeomyung as the true future leader of Tang clan. The maid proudly said, he's truly become an extraordinary man. His aura is just like the clan leaders when he was young. Tang Jihai thought to herself, our destiny, my love, if you were still alive to hear this news, how wonderful it would be. She asked the maid, tell me what happened. The old woman eagerly replied, yes, even if I tell it 100 times. Tang Jihai smiled warmly. If he were still alive, he'd be so proud. Meanwhile, Yeomyung was lost in thought. I want to rush home to tell Mom I'm alive. I've taken my first step forward. But suddenly someone called out, young master. That voice snapped him back to reality. There was a mountain of work waiting to be done. Yeomyung was seated in a meeting room with everyone. Tang Jiakui spoke up. By the young master's order, all future events and agendas will be held at the Dark Venom Hall. Major decisions now need his approval. First off, the true power of the clan, once held by the elders, is now transferred to the Dark Venom Hall. The elders looked like they'd bitten into lemons, but no one dared complain. The fifth elder spoke up. I know the young master is outstanding, but he lacks experience. Can't we postpone his decision-making until he's more mature? He was the only elder bold enough to voice concern. Yeomyung replied, what you said makes sense. But I bet they just don't want to lose their power, using my age as an excuse. He continued, whoever represents the clan will be decided later. If there's nothing else to discuss, let's end this topic about the power transfer. The fifth elder sat quietly thinking that's obedient. Yeomyung reflected, even if things don't go as planned, the investigation confirmed the third elder really did mess with fire dragon lake poison. Doubts arose over the elder's leadership. Now, managing the 10 poisons falls under the Dark Venom Hall's responsibility. The elders had lost most of their power, clinging only to their private guards. Honestly, Yeomyung wasn't too bothered. He seriously stated the armed units will still be under the elders for now, but from today, their expenses are their own problem. He added any funds allocated through the vice steward, cut them off. The 3 elders looked like they saw ghosts. The command guard and Ba Long squad had no elders left to lead them. They'd be merged into the Guardian squad, now stationed at the Dark Venom Hall. Their duties and wages would also be adjusted to match regular guards. Unsurprisingly, this made some folks very grumpy. Yeomyung declared, forget your past privileges. If you don't want to get kicked out, do your jobs. Anyone slacking off with lame excuses or clashing with outer guards will face serious punishment. Yeomyung thought, shutting you all up ain't that hard. A few days later, at the Dark Venom Hall under bright sunlight, a group of people marched in and shouted, "Young master, you summoned us." Changshin thought so. Power and reputation can really shake up the Elder Council. No point reporting those old duel results anymore. No one knows what crimes I or the Jegal clan committed in that poison duel. Still, everyone's hyping up the young master like he's a rock star. One wrong word here and I might lose my teeth, he thought, but Yeomyung broke the silence. Sorry, I've been a bit distant lately, lots on my plate. Yeomyung turned and smiled, but I do have something to ask. Seeing the young man before him, Changshin wondered, isn't this the same number 28 I saw back then? Yeomyung noticed the weird looks from Changshin and the 7 spirits. What's with the surprised faces, this outfit? He asked. My subordinates practically begged me to dress like a proper clan head. Changshin assessed him. He didn't look like a full-fledged clan leader yet, but the group still praised him anyway. Yeomyung smiled, thanks, then muttered, you're flattering me like I'm already the patriarch. Changshin got flustered. So, what is it you want to ask, young master? Yeomyung replied, I've heard your Jegal clan has top-tier formations. They say intruders get lost forever, but my experience was a bit different. I wish we could set up such formations here too, to block out evil sects. Changshin explained, I'm sorry, but our clan formations can't be deployed without the clan head's permission. As he explained, Yeomyung had secretly readied a needle in his hand. Changshin continued, these formations require heirloom treasures and formation masters. Sadly, we don't have enough resources. Swiftly, Yeomyung flicked the needle, imbued with his power, and it glided past Changshin, before piercing through the necks of his subordinates. Changshin, still mid-sentence, suddenly heard a sound behind him and turned in fear. He screamed, W what the, seeing his men collapse like sacks of potatoes. Just then, Yeomyung's needle shot straight toward his face, barely missing and stopping right in front of his eyeball. Yeomyung calmly said, I already know you've been dealing with Tang Yeongryo. Even if the Tang clan blocked the Dark Sword sect once, we still failed overall. You thought I'd play dumb and let this go. I won't say much, set up a formation like the one at the Jegal clan in our inner compound. If you do that, I'll consider this matter closed. Changshin, face pale as tofu, nearly stumbled out the door. The spirit of death barely managed to let out a squeak. Yeomyung reminded him, so what now, still pretending to know nothing, then asked, you're familiar with clan law, right? His face cold and eyes sharp like 1,000 daggers, he tilted his head and warned, Tang Law 10, compensation times 10. I'll count to 3. If I don't get a proper answer, I'll visit the Jegal clan myself. And Jegal Changshin will be held fully accountable. Just imagine what happens next. Just as he took a breath to speak, Changshin screamed, I'll do it. The old man clasped his hands and stuttered, I'll do it, okay. Then he started crying and begging, please, please. Yeomyung smirked, compliments noted, good job. Then he ordered, now hurry up and get to work. That day at the Dark Venom Hall, he summoned everyone. He began, I wanted to call you 2 earlier, but turns out my schedule exploded like a chi bomb, so here we are. Murieo asked cautiously, why did you summon us, sir? She added softly. Young master, which surprised Yeomyung. He burst out laughing, oh come on, why so formal, be chill like before. Yuri squinted, is that allowed? Ijan, without missing a beat, propped a leg on the table, if you say so. The moment he finished, everyone plopped down and snoozed. Yeomyung muttered, whoa, they really took chill seriously. Mood swing squad, I swear. Suddenly Yori piped up, but seriously, why did you call us? Yeomyung replied, not long ago, Yori, I appointed your father as the chief steward. Murieo and Ijan gasped like synchronized swimmers. He explained, you said your father was super capable, got talent in the house, gotta use it. Yori looked torn. Is this the true power of a young master? I mean, I said that, but did everyone agree? Bet many folks complained. Yeonmyung replied, snuffing out rumors is easy, but if your info's wrong, that's when things get real spicy. He warned, if your dad brags about knowing me, slacks off, or gets shady. He motioned a throat-slitting gesture, making Yori panic. No way, he's not that kind of man. Feeling he teased her enough, Yeonmyung smiled. All right, I confirm, your dad's perfect for the job. Tears welled up in Yori's eyes. Thank you, Tang Yeonmyung. Yeonmyung recalled, when he heard about the position, your dad literally yelled, since you've trusted me with this, I'll guard Tang clan with all I've got. He added, unlike that last steward who only guarded his lunch. Seeing her sobbing like a waterfall, he thought, okay, no need to stress anymore. After chatting with Yori, he turned to Murieo and Ijan. All right, your turn. Tell me your stories, that's why I called you. If there are talented people being sidelined just because they don't kiss up to elders, I'll protect them with my authority. He continued, why should bootlickers always win, right? But Murieo shrugged, I really don't know who I could mention. He turned to Ijan, what about you? Weren't you linked with Medicine King Hall? How's that place now? Ijan started trembling. Actually, I'm not sure if I should talk about it. It's kinda tied to you. Ms. Yeonmyung blinked. Ijan nodded grimly. To be precise, it's related to what happened to your father. The one behind his poisoning was Medicine King Hall. Murieo snapped her head around. Wait, what? Did I hear that right? Medicine King Hall. Yori slammed the table. How dare they mess with our young master's family? Let's chop their heads off. But Yeonmyung calmly raised a hand to stop her mid-war cry. He turned to Ijan and said seriously, keep going, tell me everything. Medicine King Hall in our clan is like a sealed-off bunker. Even elder whispers can't reach inside. They specialize in researching medicine and poison, making money from healing, and maybe some mysterious herbs. Tang clan survived the Heaven's Brilliance crisis thanks to them. Like 90% of our funding comes from their business. Ijan added bitterly, the former hall master was my grandfather. Murieo asked, wait, is that why he lost his title? Ijan replied, exactly, you knew about that. Back when my grandpa was hall master, Tang Longryang, Yeonmyung's father, visited him almost daily. After the Heaven's Brilliance invasion, people started blaming Phoenix's son. Your dad stood up for him and silenced the gossip. But your dad was just a scholar, no martial arts. You can imagine how that went when words turned into punches. A guy with zero inner power taking internal strikes, not pretty. The body's basically paper mache. Still, he fought back. Your father got hurt badly. Listening, Yeonmyung's fists clenched tighter. Ijan continued. Later, something else happened. The deputy hall master back then, Tang Il. Your father caught him talking crap about your mother, Phoenix's son. Instead of resolving it calmly, they threw hands. Only when my grandfather walked in did they finally stop. That incident got Tang Il removed from the air list. So he poisoned my father out of revenge. Ijan nodded, fists shaking, yes. Then he killed your dad and started a coup in Medicine King Hall. Even my grandfather was poisoned and imprisoned by him. Tang Murieo shouted, something like this happened and no one knew, even if that place was shut off from the world. Ijan said that his grandfather had become mentally unstable ever since he was poisoned. So even though I reported the situation, no one stepped in to help. That's why I joined this competition. I knew all the dirty secrets, but I'd be safe for 3 years in here. No one dares kill me mid-event. He spoke while sobbing in pain, gritting his teeth. I want to check on my grandpa now, but fears got me by the collar. He added, sorry Yeonmyung, but I don't think you'll find the talent you're looking for in the Medicine King Hall. Yeonmyung asked, do you know why the Vice Hall Chief kept your grandpa alive? If he wanted to silence people, offing him would have been smarter, no. If my guess is right, there might be some kind of internal core hidden in Medicine King Hall that even the elders don't know about. A mythical beast said to live in lava. The core of the 10,000-year fire carp. Yori gasped, the 10,000-year fire carp. Even Murieo was shocked. No way, that thing actually exists. Yeonmyung was curious. Isn't that core just something that boosts internal power a little? Ijan quickly replied, it's not that simple. There's a legend that a century ago, the young master of Solar Flame Palace ate that core and instantly broke through to transformation level, though that palace was wiped out later by heavenly demon sect. Murieo nodded, it's not exaggeration. If someone eats that core, they go boom, straight to transformation level. Even rookies like us heard that tale growing up. Ijan warned, but that beast surely has toxins. If you don't process them right, you're toast. Remove the poison clumsily and you ruin the whole core. Yeonmyung calmly said, actually, it is possible to remove the poison without ruining the core. your grandpa was the first hall chief of Medicine King Hall, right? Aijan confirmed, yes, the current hall chief's whole plan is to grab the complete core, break through, then march into the Tang clan as the heir. Just imagining that smug face stepping into Tang clan made Yori, Murieo, and Aijan collectively angry. Yori screamed, shameless bastard. Meanwhile, Yeonmyoung thought, you idiot, power alone won't get you to transformation level. Without enlightenment, you're just a strong fool. In our 3 years together, I never knew this. You kept smiling like nothing was wrong. That must have been hell. He turned to Aijan warmly. First of all, thank you. That must have been really hard to say. Seriously, thank you for being honest. Suddenly Yeonmyoung asked, let me ask one more thing. If we purge everyone from Medicine King Hall and restore your grandpa's strength, can the hall still operate like before? If your grandpa's only issue is poison, I think I can handle that, but answer me first. Aijan trembled as he answered, yes, absolutely. I don't think my current skills are inferior to the current hall chiefs. If I get some talented alchemists, I can train them myself. Yeonmyoung was reassured by that answer. He smiled, all right then. Then he turned to Murieo, can I hear your story later? Let's handle the Medicine King mess first. She quickly responded, of course. Yeonmyoung stood up, then let's get moving to the Medicine King Hall. Aijan worried, are you sure? You haven't even visited your mom since coming home. Yeonmyoung put his hand on the door. She'll understand, she always does. As the young master, I can't just sit back while traitors threaten the Tang clan. And above all, I can't ignore what's been done to my closest friend. Yeonmyoung declared, the Medicine King Hall you once knew, Tang clan's gonna wipe it clean. At Medicine King Hall, a heavy wooden door was locked shut. Tang Il furrowed his brows, lost in messy thoughts. That young master, son of Tang Longryong, is getting out of hand. In front of him glowed a fiery red core. This all happened before you were even born. Heck, I barely remember what I did to your dad. His face twisted with anger at the thought of Aijan. And that brat Aijan still hasn't come back here, not once, as if he could abandon his own blood. He scoffed bitterly. Well, in the end, everyone picks their own life over family, huh? Tang Il placed his hand behind his back, eyeing the core. No matter, I can kill you whenever I want. The real prize here is the core. Once I absorb all of its power, I'll reach transformation level. A frail old man with white hair, eyes shut tight, mouth slightly open, looking completely worn down. This old fart won't talk even if he wakes. Good, I've got a new plan. Tang Il pondered, should I remove the poison from the core myself? Nah, mess up once and the whole thing's ruined. I need a safer method. Just then someone called out, Hall Chief. He yelled, shut up, can't you see I'm busy? Then Gio burst in, stammering, TT the young master. Tang Il turned pale. Inside the estate the guards were restrained by unfamiliar martial artists, led by Yeonmyoung. Behind him, Aijan stormed forward with fury. Tie them all up, don't let even one of them slip. Yeonmyoung's face was stone cold, lips tightly sealed with rage. The young master was storming the Medicine King Hall grounds. The hall's guards furiously shouted, how dare you do this to us? Do you even remember where you are right now? Yeonmyoung didn't bat an eye, casually asked, Aijan found him yet? With teary eyes, Aijan replied, nope. Aijan bit his lip, trying to hold back the helplessness. I've searched this whole cursed place, but there's no trace of Grandpa. Suddenly, Aijan shouted at the group, hey, where the heck are you hiding him? Two guys exchanged the most guilty side-eyes in history. Yeonmyoung stared daggers at them. So you guys think this is a game, huh? Then barked. Wonjin got the memo instantly. Yes, young master. Without missing a beat, Wonjin slashed his blade at the two shady servants. A wave of panic swept over the other household staff. What are you looking at? You testing my patience now? Yeonmyoung shot them a glare sharp enough to slice steel. Keep this up and you'll really see fireworks. A prison deep inside a dark cavern. After the competition began, the current hall chief ordered the former hall chief locked up in a place called Thunder Prison. Yeonmyoung kept calm while Aijan stared at the sight, devastated. My God, Grandpa, they locked you in this dump. Grinding his teeth, Aijan seethed. This place was for isolating disease threats, but it's so damp and cold it got sealed off. Looks more like a death sentence. The path ahead was pitch black. Yeonmyoung looked determined. Aijan and I will handle inside. Guard team take care of the rest. Wait up front when done. Wonjin's eyes glinted like a hawk. Understood, young master. Yeonmyoung and Aijan stepped into the dark. Wonjin handled the panicked servants. They pleaded, young master, please have mercy, we were wrong. The scene turned into a bloodbath, echoing with screams. Crack, young master. Inside the dungeon, it was spider webs galore. Aijan led the way. Yeonmyoung glanced around. This deep, they really carved this thing out of the rock. No wonder they call it Thunder Prison, Aijan muttered. We're close. At the end of the tunnel were iron bars. This was the prison gate. Emotion welled up in Aijan. Grandpa, please be okay. I know I'm late, but I'm here now. Yeomyung reassured him, don't worry, he's still hanging on. Aijan's eyes widened, really. A stream of green light flew toward a specific cell with a person lying inside. Yeomyung's eyes turned emerald, he locked on. Yeah, I felt it, that's where he is. Suddenly a scream echoed from the cell. Inside was an old man, skin and bones collapsed on the ground. Aijan gripped the bars and yelled, Grandpa, it's me, Aijan. A green glow formed in Yeomyung's hand. Aijan stepped aside. Yeomyung's face was ice. He poured all his energy into one fierce blow. Aijan called out again, Grandpa. The cell door shattered. Aijan rushed in and hugged the old man, crying, Why are you like this? You were fine before. Did they poison you with some strange toxins? Yeomyung placed a calming hand on his shoulder. Chill, I'm here to save him. Besides poison, what else did they use? Aijan's watery eyes answered, brain-melting toxin. Not to kill, but to turn victims into fools. It spreads everywhere, even the brain. Even antidotes don't help. Furious, Aijan snarled, those scumbag animals. Yeomyung cut in. Relax. Flushing this toxin will be easy peasy. He smiled quietly. Aijan blinked. Wait, what did you just say? Yeomyung placed his hand on the old man's chest. Leave it to me. A radiant light glowed from his palm. Aijan thought, if Yeomyung pours internal energy into Grandpa, using the venom-cleansing azure light technique, which neutralizes even the nastiest poisons. The light surged with power. The old man's hand twitched. It was working. The toxins were being drawn out. Aijan's eyes widened like dinner plates. Yeomyung focused. This technique would eliminate all deadly toxins. He had to absorb it slowly so as not to harm Grandpa's fragile body. Watching closely, Aijan said, he's breathing again, his colors coming back. The poison was being flushed out of his system. Yeomyung gave a small smile. The old man's complexion turned rosy. He slowly opened his eyes. Where am I? He saw Aijan, who was beaming. Isn't this my Aijan, but who's the guy next to you? His eyes welled up with tears as he realized. The eldest son of Longryang. In the dark cavern, Aijan gently helped his grandfather sit up. So you're the son of Tang Longryang, and now the young master of the Tang clan. He beamed. Yes, sir. I heard from Aijan that you raised my father like he was your own. Tears welled in the old man's eyes, filled with regret. Fate truly is a strange thing. Because of my recklessness, a child never even got to see his father's face. A vision of a bright young man with a beaming smile crossed his mind. Tang Longryang, your son with that noble lady became someone remarkable. I wish you were alive to witness this. Yeomyung smiled proudly. The old man said, even though I'm just a broken old sack of bones, allow me to serve the young master with whatever strength I have left. Yeomyung pulled a coat over his back and replied, of course you can. Wrapping the coat around him, he added, the reason I came today is to prepare a new position for you and Aijan. He said warmly, now let's head out, plenty of folks are waiting for us. Tang Il and his servants were horrified. How is that old geezer still standing? Seeing Aijan supporting him, he clutched his robe and thought, could it be? The young master saved him. Outwardly, Tang Il questioned, but inside he was panicking. How could you attack the medic King Hall like this? The elders kill without hesitation now. I need to play it cool. The servants had been wiped out. Chaos reigned. Don't you know Medic King Hall funds the entire Tang clan? You trying to bankrupt us all? Yeomyung closed his eyes, unwavering. Don't pretend you didn't see this coming. I came because of you. Tang Il's pupils shrank. Yeomyung's face turned sharp. Was that your grand parting speech? His eyes widened and a shadow loomed over his face. Yeomyung turned to the old man. Is there anything you want to say to the Tang clan? The old man looked away. Tang Il grew visibly uneasy. He bolted, desperate to flee. Out of my way, if I stay here he's gonna kill me. His facial muscles twisted. Damn it, how did he find this place and rescue that old fart? His face contorted as he screamed. A needle pierced his neck. I can't move a needle. Yeomyung flicked his hand. That's the heartbreak venom, a poison created by Aijan himself. Tang Il groaned, his body twisting in pain. So, think Aijan's strong enough to take your place yet? Tang Il collapsed on the ground, mouth agape like a stranded fish. The remaining servants scattered like cockroaches, but a few unlucky ones were stuck. Yeomyung commanded, not part of the squad. The elite guard trio replied, yes sir. He and Aijan walked away, leaving the pandemonium behind. Clear out Medic King Hall, leave not a single rat.